This video contains subject matter that may be offensive and disturbing to some people. If you are the type to require a warning throughout a video or show, let this message serve as your warning. This channel discusses the harsh reality of true crime. If this warning is not sufficient for you, consider a different genre and unsubscribe from my channel immediately. Hey, freaks! Hold on one second, I gotta get the chat URL placed in there so you guys can see it. Alright, there you go. Alright, so tonight we have on our favorite guest that we ever have, Colleen Fitzpatrick. And just a second, I'm gonna switch over to the other screen. And there she is. So now you're on the screen. Hey, you can unmute yourself. Wait, oh yeah, hold on, there you go. Now you can do it, hit *6. There you go.
I'm done, I'm here. Hi everybody.
She really was there, she was there.
You have a little problem on, high-tech things, they baffle me,
Yeah, well they got it so she can read the chat. She just ate dinner too, so,
Yeah, I'm like...
She's flossing on the air, okay?
No, I'm not. I just want to be able to speak.
Yeah. Let's see. Hey, thanks, Caro. Let's see. We've just recently... Well, how about give us some updates on some of these cases that we're looking at funding. The 61 and then the guy in the lake, I guess.
Yeah, let me tell you guys what's going on with the teenager that died in the car crash in Bibb County. We've first of all, it turns out he does have remains that are above ground, and they were at the University of North Texas. They had been analyzing them maybe 2017, I think. They had done an exhumation, and they had saved some. I think they saved his teeth. They went to University of North Texas, which is the place that does that kind of extraction, and University of North Texas was unable to get any DNA. So everybody was really sort of bummed out. And when it came up again, and we were looking around for cases to work on, I contacted the Bibb County coroner, and they had a phone number where on NamUs. So I called the phone number and turned out it was a local funeral home. It wasn't the coroner, but they all knew the coroner, so they all went and got him. And anyway, they had to send the remains, the teeth, whatever they had, back to the coroner first. And then they are positioned and ready to be sent out. We thought first that we'd send them to a company called Astria that does this kind of bone extraction where you can get DNA out of the bone. You can't just do it in every lab. You have to have specialized equipment. And so to tell you about what happens, I've seen this equipment. It looks like this big capsule, and you put the bone in there with this big weight that's about this big. And you put it in there and it rocks back and forth and it slams the weight against the bone to make powder and pulverizes it. And that's how you get the powder used to get the DNA out.
And why do they do
that?
Okay, go ahead. You were about to say it.
Well, because if the bone's this big, you're trying to get DNA in the inside of the bone. You have to kind of get in there. But if you got powder, you got all kinds of surface area. And it's a lot easier to get the chemicals in there to pull the DNA out.
What do they figure the increased surface area is? So let's say you had a sphere, right? Well, you can measure that, but let's say you crush the sphere into just 100,000 tiny little pebbles that are other spheres, let's say. How much more does that increase it? Like 4 or 5, 6 times?
Oh, I would say by third power. Like the volume is r cubed of the sphere, the radius cubed.
Yeah, so like a lot.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
a hell of a
it's
lot more.
a lot, yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, so we were ready to send it. They're all ready. It's
Oh, I see what
ready
you're
to
saying. I see what you're saying now, because you got the surface area here, but every single thing in there, yeah, it's like a ridiculous increase.
Yeah, every little flicker thing in there has like its own surface area. Then you got tons and tons.
And what makes them think that that's more useful? How does that get DNA off of all those different small particles, I guess?
Because the chemicals have to go into the surface to pull out the DNA. And if it's only that much surface, then you can only go from the outside in. You can't get in the interior. But if you smash it to smithereens, little teeny piece, you can just kind of get in there and get all the DNA out of it.
And that can, you were saying earlier that can actually damage the DNA. So what do they do to mitigate that?
Yeah, we were talking about that. So the reason I just paused a minute is because I figured out and I remembered we're kind of doing this through Intermountain Forensics. That's the nonprofit, and they're handling all the billing and invoicing and donations, which is very nice of them. And I called them to figure out how to do this right, and somebody reminded me they have this thing called Tissuelizer, and somehow when you kind of slam the bone around, you're slamming the DNA around and it gets beat up. So they have something called Tissuelizer that they put in the bone, and as it's slamming around, it kind of coats the DNA and it protects it from getting so slammed, and you get a lot more DNA out that way. So I said, since it's only like a couple of $100, it's worth the insurance policy, that we did everything we could to get DNA out of the bone.
I guess
remember UNT was not successful, but they're kind of regular people that do regular stuff. This is like upper echelon.
Yeah, man, well, here's the thing. So when you're getting all this DNA out of this massive surface area that you're creating, but aren't you getting duplicate DNA? I mean, because you're getting DNA from all over the place in that. So you're getting some chunks that are duplicates, but then maybe there's some extra that you're getting. I mean, how do you put it all together into one strand at some point, or however?
Oh, you want duplicates. You want millions of copies of the same DNA. I mean, just having one DNA strand isn't
okay. But
that's not a whole lot.
How do you put it all together to make a sequence out of it?
Oh, okay. Well, what happens really when you sequence is you wind up fragmenting the DNA anyway, because it's like, suppose you wanted to copy a book electronically. You want to get the whole book, right? You could start at page 1 and scan one page after the other. It'd take you a long time to get to page 300. Or you can take the book apart and scan 300 pages all at one time. It's a lot faster. So DNA is the same way. Instead of just taking the DNA and starting at one end and crawling over to the other, you fragment the DNA and you do all these pieces at one time, and it's a lot quicker. It's called next generation sequencing, or massively parallel sequencing, MPS. And somebody invented it a few years ago, and it makes everything go real quick. And then after you have the electronic copy of all these little bits, it's like you put them back together and you make the DNA. Then you have, it's like taking all those pages you just scanned and putting them back into the electronic book.
All right, so they
hope that made sense.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where your brain's more in tune to all that than the rest of us. But
no, I'm just used to it. I had to figure it out too. But
yeah.
So in the end, you have your electronic book, and you can turn one page after the other, not knowing that all those pages were scanned all at one time and then reassembled.
Yeah, so you collect all this DNA after putting it into that machine and then applying that chemical to it. But let's say you've got this DNA, but from that, how do you I mean, see, that's the thing is, conceptually, how do you take whatever that mass of DNA is and then turn it into where it's just sort of one nice sequence instead of having duplicate, these.
Oh, okay. Well, they in the end, you're going to have many copies of the same DNA. You are going to have it, but you need that statistics and data. You always like to have more than one count in your detector. You want to have lots of them. So when they have all these fragments, electronic fragments, and you want to put them back together, they actually have a reference genome. All humans are about the same within 90-something percent, 99, 98%. So they have a reference. And so they look up where all these little bits are. It's like a jigsaw puzzle. You have the box with the picture on it. And so you know where all the pieces go.
All right. And I
don't know if that's okay with everybody to say.
Yeah, I think just over time we'll all get a better picture. I mean, you could always.
No, don't mind. I don't want to be like everybody says I'm a professor. Thank you, professor. This is a YouTube fun night. You know, you don't want to like spend your Friday night. You want to go look at movies or talk on YouTube and do social networking. You know, you don't want to hear about massively parallel sequencing.
Yeah, we probably wouldn't want to do it where you sound like you're talking to a colleague, like in terms of like the scientific talk. Like when my dad talks to my brother, it's nobody knows what the other's saying.
Nobody. I don't really fully understand it, and that's exactly how I explain it to cops every day. So I'm kind of using the vernacular because I don't really get everything. I'm still learning, and when I ask the labs, is that what you do? You put the thing back like the jigsaw puzzle with the they go, oh yeah, that's right. So I have, sounds good to me. If it makes sense.
Yeah, you like know all the different techniques, but maybe you don't know exactly how it's exactly working inside of
right.
it. Okay.
Right. I don't know what size coffee cup they use to pour the DNA into the coffee maker, anything like that,
Hey, okay, so then you were referring back to the 1961 hitchhiker, and then continue on with that.
Well, I'm just saying that the teeth, the sample we're going to use are poised and ready to go out to the lab to get DNA extracted. And I think they will make a slight detour to Intermountain to get the tissuelizer done so that we can maybe get more DNA than we thought or that we planned, because tissuelizer kind of protects the DNA from being slammed around. And so then it will go to Astria to get extraction done.
Awesome.
And Astria does like they could do extraction from mummies and stuff like that. They do ancient DNA, so they do a little different processing than normal.
Yeah, and I guess if that fails, the next option would maybe be something like exhumation or something like that.
And that would be
a little bit more expensive, but it's one of those things like, who cares? You just got to get.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk to it if that comes up. This is all a risk, everybody. DNA's really weird, and sometimes you think there is just no way this would ever work. And oh my God, there it is. And when we did Buckskin Girl, that DNA had been taken at her autopsy. They had like a vial of DNA. It had not been refrigerated for 37 years. And in addition, it had been doped with a chemical called heparin, which prevents coagulation. I think people take it, to prevent blood clots. So here we have DNA not refrigerated for 37 years, chemically doped. And we thought, oh well. And then we solved it in 4 hours. Not only did we have great DNA, I mean, the matches that came up were like, it was like an oh my God experience. This is.
Yeah, like first cousin type of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so that's where we're at on that one. Now, what about this? Maybe we can talk about that other case that I mentioned it on the show the other day. I don't know the specifics.
The Altoona Lake guy who was floating around in the lake?
Yeah, that had I think when we were talking about it, I was thinking it must be a suicide because he had flippers on. Because why in the hell would he have flippers on? Why would somebody... I mean, I'm not saying it has to be, but it's like, looks like that would be, because why would somebody put weights on somebody and then put flippers on them? Yeah, it seems like
that kind of bothers me. Wouldn't that bother you? I mean, to find a body with a bullet in the head and flippers on? You know, I tell
it
you
would
what,
bother me.
if I
It would
was
bother me.
if I was a really clever killer, if I was really clever, I'd bring somebody out, and I wanted to do this. I would bring somebody out to the lake, and I'd say, put these flippers on. And at gunpoint, I'd say, I want you to put these flippers on. Okay. So then I would shoot the guy with the flippers on, and then I'd put his rocks in his pocket or sand in his pocket and throw him out in the lake. So everybody would think it was a suicide, and nobody would suspect I committed the perfect crime.
But then would you then wrap him up with all that other stuff that he had on? Remember?
Like what? What did he else? You can remind me.
Yeah, I actually don't remember, but I think it was. I don't have it right on me, but it was something about. Does anybody else remember in there? It was he had
Fishing net.
He had all kinds of belts of weights around him, and it looked like he was tied up.
It weights on his feet. And okay, yeah. Well, I just say, in addition to these flippers, could you kindly put these weights on your feet?
Yeah.
What choice would he have?
Yeah, they were like ankle weights. There was all kinds of weights that he had on him. It was pretty crazy. But tell us about...
I have to say that most crimes are the logical, what you think happened. You know, you don't have to invent like Martians from outer space. You know, that you don't have to concoct a big story. It's usually pretty simple. The guy broke in the house, shot the woman, and stole her purse and left. It's nothing more than that.
Yeah.
But we don't like to do that because it's not fun. It's not.
Hey, you guys, listen, everybody. Do you see why I love Colleen? Look at that. What she just said right there is almost exactly what I've said 100 times. We always do or it could be aliens, right? And I think
you hear that all the time.
Yeah, and then people. What the thing is, there's a lot of people out there that put out information they think. They claim they're trying to help, but it's really just for entertainment purposes. Really crazy stuff that really has no chance.
Because they don't have anything else to do with their lives. You know, it's either that or watch Dance Moms. You know, and reruns of Dance Moms, and they just don't really think beyond that. So
yeah,
it's aliens, and anyway, you get the idea.
Yeah, if I don't want to think at all, I would turn on, what is it, 60 Day Fiancé or whatever the hell that thing is, 90 Day Fiancé.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I actually watch that, but only late at night when I need to go brain dead.
Right, so you
no,
just...
actually, I watch it when I want to watch somebody else's train wreck.
Right.
You know, and I'm tired of my own.
That's exactly right. All right, so how's that one going?
Well, let me just say, I did call the officer. His name is Philip. I'll think about it in a minute. Not Uruquat. I have this memory like a sieve. Philip, and I left a message for him, but I wanted to wait a few days before I called him back. So I will call him again and make sure, see if I can get him on the phone and tell him we'd like to work on his case.
What's his last name? Maybe I can find that. What's his last name? I can just find that email.
His name is Philip. If you say it, I'll remember.
Oh, well, that's what I didn't remember, his last name.
Philip. I can almost get. I hate that when you get old and you almost remember things.
I know. I'm definitely getting that way, and that's why it's cool to have the freaks in there. They always remember everything.
Yeah, I did call him or try to get in touch with. It was Barstow County Sheriff's Office, and I did call call him. I sent you an email, so if you're looking through your email,
yeah.
his name's going to be in there. But the minute you say it, everybody, all these people on your chat here are going to all suddenly call the Barstow County Sheriff's Office.
Yeah, I found the email. Here.
Guys, kind of hold back on that. Let me make the call. Don't let me be the 50th person and he hangs up on me.
Yeah.
That's happened. I was pretty upset because I knew what to say, and the guy said, "Oh, I had 50 calls." Oh, click. Wait a minute. I'm the one you got to talk to.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Hey, thanks, Ellen. Let's see. Okay, so basically we're just kind of waiting for the communication to.
Yeah, I'm afraid that these things are, you want them to hurry up, but
yeah, it
doesn't always work that way.
Especially with COVID going around, it's just everything's slower. For sure.
Yeah.
Except Amazon.
Yeah.
Amazon, for some reason, is faster. It just is crazy. We need to get everybody in the DNA world working with Amazon. Man, they just get that stuff.
Yeah, we do. And we need Amazon to start trying solving cold cases. They'll be like that.
That's right.
Hey, that's not a bad idea, Gray. Why don't we call Amazon and see if they'll sponsor a bunch of cases?
Well,
why are we worried about? I mean, they're really fast. They deliver service. They're altruistic. They have that big smile on their boxes.
Oh yeah. I don't know. I think the guy that runs it likes to have every nickel that he's got. Bezos.
Yeah, that guy. He has to. He's getting a divorce, so he's only got half a nickel. All the.
Oh man, that's going to cost him a couple dollars.
Yeah, he should have thought about that. I bet she's got a prenup.
Well, yeah. I mean, if he doesn't, it's going to be hundreds of, like in the dozens of billions is what that is. I mean, he's worth a lot of money.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, so that one is a possibility. There's a few other cases we saw on Amos that, we were thinking about, we can get some money going on it and we maybe top it off or something. I can look them up if you want. You want me to look them up real quick?
On Amos?
Yeah,
I don't care.
I'll just throw them out there to see if everybody's interested. Hold on. Let's see. Oh, wait, I made a mistake, sorry. Here we are. Okay.
Thanks, Claudia.
Okay. One is here's. Oh, okay. How do I get it to you to tell you which one it is?
Maybe you can just put the link in the chat over here.
Okay. All right. Let me do that. Okay. I'm still kind of new at some of this. This is on the Doe Network from Orange County, Texas. 12 to 20 years old. She wore braces. She was found in 1984. She was about 20 years old. She would have born about 1965 to 70. So she'd have brothers and sisters and people alive. On New Year's Day, the victim's partial remains were found in a pasture near Ridgewood Street, south of Interstate 10 at the highway overpass. Okay, I think I may have even lived in that area. So that's all they have.
But she was murdered, right?
Let me look and see if they have more. I'm gonna look. They have.
Almost every single time you have a situation like that.
Yeah.
It's not like, I'm
she
just walking. She
could have been a runaway teen.
Yeah.
That's probably a runaway teen. Okay, her limbs may not have been recovered. Partial remains with soft tissue. So it could have been animals. Some animals got to her. She had brown hair, 2 inches in length, so real short brown hair. That's it. Clothing included a blue, green, and white short-sleeved terry cloth pullover with an elastic waistband, present company or penny company brand label. That was it. So nobody really knows, it's not one of these delicious, where you can say a lot about how the crime happened and stuff. It's just, one of these does so that's one. And
where was she found again? Where was she found again?
In Orange County, Texas.
But like underneath, where did you say
under the overpass. Let me look again. Hang on. It is, something's wrong with my computer. All right. She was found, you can look it up on the map. It says in a pasture near 1005 Ridgewood Street and near FM 1135 south of Interstate 10 at the Highway 1132 overpass. So look at Interstate 10 near Highway 1132 overpass.
Well, what is this, Texas?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's in let me look. It doesn't Vidor, Vidor.
Yeah, I saw that. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna. Here, I'll switch my screen over. So you're not on the screen anymore. Well, I can put you on here. I think.
Yeah, I'm gonna look in NamUs because I want to see if there's anything more. But I want to get there with two of them that we think we may be able to get Othram to fund some of this, and they may need just to top off the whatever they're short, because sometimes Othram requires and we may ask the Institute of Forensic Science to top it off, but we don't know yet. We're still kind of discussing. Here's another one. Let me see what this one is. Wait, I had three.
I didn't get to the address part of this one, but
okay, it was. Do you need to know what that is?
Yeah. Say that again.
It is. Okay, hang on. It is 1005 Ridgewood Street.
Okay, that's where this supposedly is.
That might be built up now because this is 1984.
But this is the address, 1005 Ridgewood Street, this house.
Yeah.
Okay, so yes. I thought it was an underpass or something.
Well, no, it says near FM 1135, south of Interstate 10 at the Highway 1132 overpass. There's a lot going on right in that little section of the world.
It's weird. There it is. Roads. I didn't have roads on. Yeah, there's Highway 10. Okay. And right over, there's an underpass. Well, that's not an underpass. It's like so there's I-10. But this is the address, so that's right on. I mean, it's literally right there. So somewhere around.
Let me see. Can you make it bigger? Yeah, where is that? Is that I-10, the big road
that's I-10 back there. But this is literally the 1005. They were just explaining where it was with the I-10, but the address is literally
and where's the overpass? 1132.
Okay, what was that? 1132 what?
It was. Let me look. It says F. It says 1005 Ridgewood Street near FM 1135.
Oh, there it is.
South of Interstate 10 and Highway 1132 overpass. So where Interstate 10 and Highway 1132 intersect, and the highway goes over the freeway.
Yeah, I think it's right here. Maybe. No, that doesn't go over it. But that's FM. This is Highway 10, and this is FM 1135. But why did they give you this exact address of 1005?
Maybe that's where the people lived that found her. I don't know.
Weird one. Hey, so thanks, Lisa Wilkerson. All right, there's one.
Okay, let me show you the other one. The other one's, let's look at this one.
Put the link
back on the chat.
Put the link in the chat of our.
I will.
Our
I
chat,
did.
Though. Our chat, though.
I just did it.
Oh, you do?
Everybody can go over, and that site is going to be slammed with everybody looking at it.
No,
all
I
at
don't
one
mean.
time.
I don't want you to put it in the chat with the the freaks and.
I did. No, I put it in the chat with everybody.
No,
Sorry.
that's what I'm saying. I don't want that one. I want it in the chat with you and me, so I can load it up on the.
Oh, too late. Well, can I go back and take it out after everybody's
No,
already gone
no.
to the web?
I can't even see it.
Okay.
Where did you put it?
Okay. Well, look, I'll give it to you too. Hold on.
Yeah, just over here in Zoom.
Okay, just a minute.
I don't think
Here you go.
you ever posted in there. I can't see it. All right. There we go.
Maybe I didn't. Okay, but I did.
I'll see this
I'll do
one.
the other one. I
This
may
one-
not have hit send.
So 15 to
Duh.
25.
Just a minute. Let me get the other one. This one I'll send to you.
Okay.
Okay, just because you're my friend. Here, I'll send this to you.
That's the only reason.
Here's a little. Yeah, here's a little love note. It's another dead body.
All right. Let's see.
Okay, what do you see there? Now you can see.
Mm-hmm. I'll put it on the screen so they can see it.
Yeah,
So-
okay,
so-
good. Then
so here it
everybody
is.
can see it at one time.
Yeah, January 1st, 1984. 12 to 20, 4-6 to 5-2. Let's see. And where was the location? Let's see. Partial remains. Where was, oh, there it is. On New Year's Day, the victim's partial remains were found in a pasture near 1005 Ridgewood Street. Okay, so I see what they're saying. So let me put that back on. So in this case, you'd have, this is FM 1135 near here. So probably somewhere around here in a pasture. It wasn't underneath a bridge or anything. It could even be like right there.
It was near that overpass, but it's probably an underpass. I don't know. It's
Well, it just said
where
it's
they
near. See, a lot of times they're just giving you a geographical. So they're saying, here's Highway 10, here's 1135, near 1005, a pasture near there. So it's just kind of giving you a geographical, a larger area, but a pasture right near here. So it's either, you know, we just don't know where the pasture is.
Yeah, it was a body dump is what happened.
Yeah, I mean, nobody's just.
It was a body dump.
Right. So nobody's just going to be walking out there and just fall over.
And you should look at the other one as well. Bring that one up.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. This is also in Texas. Let's see, January 12th, 1981, Houston, Harris County, Texas. 8 weeks to 2 months prior is the time. They found her body. She had died 8 weeks to 2 months prior. She wasn't recognizable, decomposing, putrefaction, homicide by strangulation. So this one is determined to be homicide. She's 5'4" to 5'9", brown with reddish tint, worn in a ponytail, 18 inches long.
I'm saying there's 2 bodies that were found there. That's why we kind of saw it. If you see, there's another. It says circumstances of discovery. There was another body right next to it.
Let's see. The victim was located in a wooded area near 13500 Wallaceville Road on January 12, 1981, alongside the remains of a young man who was also the victim of homicide. Yeah, I guarantee if they were hitchhiking. I bet you money that they were hitchhiking as a couple and something happened.
Could have been.
Let's see. Oops, that's not what I wanted. I just, where'd that go?
Now there's a third one. I'll put this out as a possibility. We may be able to get funding from a different place, but hang on, let me get this up. Here's another one for you to look at and to flash on the screen.
They were found inside of here. See, it says a wooded
Oh,
a wooded area near 13,500. Well, that's the wooded area.
so they're not being real specific, are they? Because the whole area is wooded.
Yeah, yeah, but it's right. Well, there are other homes in there, but they're just saying near here. So I would imagine it's right in here, because over here they would have referred to somebody else, a different location.
Yeah, right.
And you see what?
It's just sort of really a lot of wooded areas. And where is that? Oh, that's outside of Houston, I think. Look, you see it's been developed. You see all the houses on the right.
Yeah, what we can do is on Google Earth, you can actually go back to, well, hell, that's 1944. Can you guys believe that? They actually have a 1944 map on Google Earth. I can't believe it. And this one's
Oh my God.
1953. They normally don't have this at all. This is 1978. This is right then, 3 years before. So, as you can see, it's really wooded. And I don't even know if that house is there now. I think they might just be referring to it. And then this is 85. Can't see it. 89. That's probably more what it looked like. So maybe there was a house in 82 there. We just couldn't see it. And so that's very wooded all the way through. And then if we move it all the way to now, it hasn't changed dramatically. So you go back to 1944, it looked really wooded. 53, and then 78, you still have this whole area is wooded right there.
Where is it in relation to Houston?
And let's see.
It's outside of Houston because this is Harris County. It's kind of to the...
Yeah, just to the east right there.
Okay, all right. I used to live in Houston, so...
Awesome.
That's interesting. Now, should I give you another one? Are you done with that one?
Yeah. I'm not even marking them down. I'm just gonna... Maybe you can send me the links to these after the show.
I just did. Okay. I did a third one.
Okay. And there we go.
Now we may be able to get funding through NECMEC, but we're not sure yet. But if y'all want to fund it, that's fine. They'll fund something else.
Yeah, I'm trying to get together maybe like 15,000 total on this channel. Yeah. By the end of the year, maybe some will carry over. If I hope not, though. It'd be cool if we'd used a bunch.
Do whatever. We're just doing the best we can too. And I've gotten some grants from other people. So, we put what we have together and put it toward the good of everybody to get these cases solved.
Yeah. We think we've got. I think what was it, 6? Yeah, so 6.
That one's like the Smurfette, the Smurf.
Okay,
she's wearing a Smurf T-shirt. Is the distinguishing factor.
Hey, thanks, Lisa Wilkerson. Let's see. October. Wait, that's my birthday. Woohoo! Oh boy, October.
What is it? Oh, happy birthday!
The 16th. Yay! Happy birthday! I'll always remember. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, October 16th, 2012. Houston, Harris County, Texas. Undetermined cause of death. I'll tell you though what it's going to be here in a minute. 15 to 17 years old, possibly mixed, black and white, female. I guess you could tell that by genetics. 4'7" to 5'3". Weight was unknown, so it's probably just a skeleton. Very dark brown, wavy, curly, shoulder length, held back from her face with a standard bobby pin. So how long do they estimated? So it's September. Oh, so she wasn't dead that long. So I'm not really sure why they couldn't estimate her weight if they have all that other information. But she was probably so decomposed that her skin...
sometimes you just can't do that. You just don't know.
Yeah.
And what's interesting when you go down to distinguishing marks, what I like is they talk about growth arrest lines, saying she may have been malnourished because bones are like tree rings. You add, when you're okay, your bones grow, and when you're malnourished, they stop growing. Yeah. So I think you can see these like rings in your, or arrest lines, they call them.
Interesting.
In your bones.
So that
to show that, that she had some problem.
So that was in her thigh bones. indicates she may have been malnourished or suffered illness as a child. She had 22 ribs instead of 24. Is that just some abnormality? Or
Yeah, I think some people don't have 24 ribs. Some people don't have 32 teeth. It's just one of those things.
Asymmetry to her
Severe
skull.
tooth decay. You see, severe tooth decay, that's very important because that tells you she wasn't cared for.
I wonder if she had some sort of, because it even has her head is misshaped. Like, was she, maybe she had some genetic issues. Oh, it does say something. Indicate an illness or a syndrome. Okay.
Yeah.
So identifiers available, pronounced overbite, dental fillings in 3 of her lower molars. So somebody took care of her for a while.
Yeah, well, somebody did, but on the other hand, severe tooth decay.
Yeah, it's kind of bizarre that you would spend the money on getting fillings and yet let their teeth decay, right?
Yeah,
kind of
I think probably she had 2 eras. Maybe she had parents that took care of her and the parents died, or that she was sent to the other parent that didn't bother.
Yeah, or maybe this age range isn't right. It's possible
Or she could have gone on the street. She could be a runaway, and she went on the streets and she didn't have access to all that.
Yeah, so after she was taken care of up to maybe 12 or 13, she went off on her own and had severe tooth decay. Plus, it could be this age range is maybe not, but they're pretty accurate on those most of the time, but I've seen those way off before.
Yeah. If she's malnourished, she'd be smaller than usual.
Yeah, she was a little, well, they did say 4'7" to 5'3". 4'7" would be pretty small, but 5'3" would.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like she looks younger because, anyway.
Yeah, well, like in the Hart family case that we covered, with those 2 women that killed their 6 kids. Every one of those kids was malnourished. She drove them all off a cliff in her van. And even her and her girlfriend, or her wife, I guess. They went off a cliff and it killed everybody. They were just that story's just ridiculous. But they were all totally undernourished, even though they ate, the 2 parents ate all the time, and great food, and the kids didn't get a damn thing. It was sick. But they were really
tiny. Yeah, it's like
tiny.
Gabriel Fernandez.
Yeah, exactly. They were just really tiny kids. So where did it say? Okay, here it is. Gated drive. Let's see. The decedent's body was discovered adjacent to a gated driveway, approximately 20 to 25 feet from the side of 12755 Walters Road. And this is in Texas also, in Harris County. Well, they have I'll have to put that in there. There's actually others. Harris County. Okay. So it's near Houston,
probably
too.
Plenty in Harris County.
Right.
And it said they'd done isotope testing on her. And they said she likely grew up in South Texas, probably in Austin or San Antonio.
It says which leads to an oil field. That doesn't feel like that one's right. Where I have.
You have the map up yet?
Yeah. That's it. 1275 Walters Road. But I'm wondering if I need to go up into location of discovery, Houston, Harris County, Texas. Yeah. So. Yeah, it's the same one. Let me go back in time. This was it's 2012. So, there we go. This is
I guess there's a question. Is it Mandy asking a question if she was hidden? Let's see how they found her. I don't know if she was.
Well, you want to see something? You want to see something that might be crazy right now?
Yeah.
Oh man, we just missed it. This satellite image is October 2012, but it's the 27th. Had it been the 16th, that means she'd still be on the ground in this photograph here. But
wow,
we just missed it by 11 days.
If you could see her, I mean, if you could
Yeah, she
see her,
might be
it
in
says
the
she's.
right. If she was
Yeah,
laying
and
out on the
that's
ground or something, you could see her. But
you know about that satellite photograph that they were, regular satellite, and they saw the car at the bottom of the lake,
that was crazy. Yeah, we
and
did that.
yeah,
You could see it absolutely clearly in there. It was wild.
you could. You have to wonder why nobody else noticed, on the ground or anything.
Okay, so but it's saying. Okay, so gated driveway. This is apparently, so let's just go right to here. How come that doesn't seem like a driveway or anything like that?
I don't know.
12775 Walters Road, which leads to an oil field. She was placed in double bagged black plastic garbage bags. Yeah, well, it's definitely, when they put up above it was, hopefully they put murdered. Undetermined? Really? Yeah. So this is that case that we were talking about. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
well it was an
one of
accidental
them-
death and I just put her in a bag and threw her in the bushes. I mean, that
Yeah.
doesn't happen, right?
I think maybe she was neglected, a child that was, adopted, or she was a runaway and somebody took her in, got rid of her or something. I think probably, she was just a neglected child, unwanted child, and maybe she had mom and dad, and then they got divorced, and dad didn't really like her, but she, one of the parents, she just wasn't cared for after that. Or maybe her grandparents died. That's another thing that happens is the child gets given to the grandparents to raise, and the grandparents die, and they have nowhere to go.
Yeah. But, I mean, it's definitely, to me, it sounds like foul play. I mean, you put somebody in a bag and just, I don't know.
Yeah, I understand. And that you do. If the child dies and you don't know what to do with them,
That first thing you think
if
of
it's
is,
foul, it's
yeah. I don't think the first thing a normal person thinks of is, wow, the child died. Hey, I know, a plastic bag. See, we just did this whole thing about how these people chop body parts up because somebody died at their party from drugs, and instead of just calling 911 in an ambulance, they think of cutting them up into parts and putting their body parts all around the city because they didn't want to get caught having somebody accidentally die. And it's kind of like, well, if you have the ability to do that, you should probably just get put in prison anyways, right?
Yeah.
Unless you're work at a funeral home or something.
Yeah. Well, sometimes I've seen that the killer says I chopped them up because they were too big and I couldn't carry them
Right.
away anywhere.
That's when there's a killer, right? But see, if somebody accidentally died, that'd be weird. All right, so I don't know where this one is. It doesn't seem to match, actually, because I don't think this is an oil field. There's homes all around, and it's the same address.
Well, you got the right city?
Yeah, 12755 Walters Road, and it's near. I even did Houston, Harris County. I'll even put in. Watch.
Yeah.
Harris County, Texas, and it still goes right to that. So.
Houston.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she was found. Okay, Houston. Right.
And I even
Got
did
it.
Houston too, and that didn't work. It went to the same spot. So, I mean, apparently that's the right spot. I just don't see any oil fields anywhere. So, I guess I'm stuck right there. Buy Colleen a top shelf gin and tonic with this.
Well, thank you, but I don't drink.
Yeah.
How about just the tonic? I think I could do that. The gin might.
Oh, that'll work too.
That looks is that where, like, leading to the oil field somewhere, but we can't find it?
Well, this right here is the 1275. It says a gated community or a gate. I don't see any of that either. Anyways, it's okay. Just send me I'll actually get these 3 links after the show. If I don't remember, maybe you can send them to me.
And so we think we already may be getting, like, Othram might be fundraising for us, but Othram needs the agency to kick in 1K on all of those. So it might be like a cheap date for you guys.
Awesome. We'll do it.
So okay. Any more questions? Did you say you had questions on your list or something?
Yeah, I got a whole bunch of them. I don't know where Susanna is. I was going to try to get her to call. Well, you were going to talk about a little bit about those scent dogs too, but we'll go through these questions here.
Yeah, Susanna McGillifardrick on tonight?
I don't know. I sent her an email.
You there?
She commented. She put a question in, but she never.
Okay. Well, if she comes on, we wanted to talk. Oh, there she is. Oh, Susanna, we had a question.
Yeah, I sent you an email, Susanna, but you never responded.
There she is. Susanna, we had a question for you. We're talking about the John Doe, the Altoona Lake John Doe, who was found floating in the lake with flippers on and the weights. I was talking to Gray that about cadaver dogs can actually find people that are underwater in the lake because of the gas that the body gives off that comes out the lake, comes out the water. We can't smell it, but the dog, I think, can even locate somebody underwater, like 1,000 feet underwater, something like that.
Now, she said, yeah, sure. That sounds sarcastic to me. I'm not sure.
It's sort of, oh, yeah, sure. No, it's true. And my friends, who do cadaver dogs here were telling me that the way you do it, and you can correct me, okay, definitely true, right? You put the dog in the front of the boat, in the prow of the boat, and you just let him sit there wagging his tail, minding his own business, and he'll pick up the scent of some gas coming out of the water because of the body. And then you kind of watch him, and he kind of like starts getting interested, and he alerts in a certain direction. And then you steer the boat in that direction, and over time you just very quietly sit there, and the dog will alert in a certain direction. And then you get closer, and when you get really close on top, then the dog alerts. And and dogs have been, I think it was 1,200 feet of water, that they found this body in 1,200 feet. I think it was amazing amount of water, and you wouldn't believe that, but yeah. Dogs really, they've been trying to invent an artificial nose to do as well as a dog, and nobody's been able to do it.
So right where the gases are coming out from the body, decomposing, there's probably a lot stronger. So, depending on the wind, the dog has to kind of lead you in that direction to the main source of it coming up, and then you send divers in, right?
Yeah, right. And of course, it may not be exactly right, but it will be close. It'll be close.
Yeah. Well, how about this? Let me go through these questions, Susanna, and then we'll have you call back in because I don't know how long it'll take to get that set up. Plus, when you call in, it'll interfere with how Colleen's on the screen, and that's really what this is all about, man. She's got to be right there.
Oh, I don't.
Center. Yeah, she told me, Gray, just make sure that I'm front and center. I've got.
I did not.
She didn't.
All
say
you
it.
guys, he's lying to you. He's just plain lying. I mean, don't even listen.
Yeah. All right. So here's one of the questions right here. It says, Miss L. Rodriguez asks, when investigators have DNA evidence, how often do they check for matches in cold cases?
Every day. Now, what are you talking about? Like CODIS? I think every day or every week they run CODIS against everything. They, all the new uploads go in, they check everybody against everybody else. The law enforcement databases are checking all the time.
All right. Now, the next one was a little bit hard to understand, but it was, does law enforcement use easily identifiable names in sites like GEDMAT? Maybe they're meaning like the ones that you can just easily, quickly identify. I don't know. Let
me explain this, guys. When you're doing, like we do GEDMAT, you can't see us, but we can see you. Let's put it that way. So
keep talking.
If you have opted in you're uploading your DNA to GEDmatch, you're a genealogist, and you opt in. So it's okay for law enforcement to see your results and see what your matches are and so on. We can see you. That allows us to see you, but you can't see us. And even other law enforcement can't see us. So we did have one case where a law enforcement, we were working for law enforcement agency A, and we're looking at our matches, and they're in looking at the matches, it looks like it has, the at symbol, law enforcement agency B, or something funny. And we said, what the devil is that? And we traced it in that law enforcement agency B had target tested somebody, and we can see the target test because they opted in the target guy. So we could see that. And it turned out that the two law enforcement agencies were working on different cases, but the two killers were relatives. And that's why they target tested, agency B had target tested what they thought was a family member of their perpetrator. And it turned out he was also a relative of ours. The two killers were related. We're still working on that one.
Jesus. All right, let me get to the next question here. It is, well, they want to know what states use it, use genealogy, and I don't know if that's really, you have.
Oh, all of them. All of them.
They're starting.
All of them. I think Utah is trying to outlaw it, and I think Maryland may have outlawed it, but that's in the minority.
Okay, I'm trying to send over this information to Susanna. So wait till we get back to that, Susanna, and you can call in. All right. I just emailed it.
Do they rent out? Richard was asking if they rent out dogs like that. I think Susanna should be able to tell.
Wait, you understood a sentence? Oh my God! Look at that. Richard wrote a sentence that was absolutely clear. He tries to trick me every night. He just does this code, but for you, it was nice and clear. All right. Meredith McKenzie said, I'd like to know if she thinks there is any reason we shouldn't put our DNA out there. Yes, if you're a criminal.
It's up to you. I don't, it's up to you. I don't have any reservation because they'll get it anyway. I don't have any real reservation because if I'm not in it, my cousins are. They can figure out who I am. And anyway, they, it's all what is it? The cat's out the bag. And so if you do not put your DNA out there, that's fine. You are kind of private and protected and stuff. But a lot of your relatives have done it. So if you want to rob a bank, they're going to find you anyway.
All right. There's the answer. Yeah, it's yes, you might be worried about it if you are a criminal. Okay, basically is what she's really saying.
Well, I have seen that. I mean, I did see there was a case, somebody uploaded their DNA to Family Tree. Somebody uploaded, they were working on some case with some agency. Yeah. So they went over, they uploaded to Family Tree, and lo and behold, the killer had taken a Family Tree DNA test, and he was a 1-to-1 match. The agency went, oh my God, you got to be kidding me.
That was the quickest one in the history, solved one ever.
That was the Darwin Award right there. It got him out the gene pool real quick.
Yeah. Hey, here's somebody said in here, it says, Colleen, in Canada, we don't release the name of a killer if there was a DNA hit on a case and the killer is dead. It's a shame. It's literally left up to law enforcement to decide if the name is given. Yeah, well, I mean, I'm just my personal thing. I think Canada is really, in some of the law enforcement decisions is ridiculous.
It's a different.
Yeah, I've told you, but there's a case where a guy cut somebody's head off on a bus, and he cut it off. This guy was just sitting there listening to his radio, and this guy came up and cut his head off and held it up, and he got out in 5 years because he had some mental issues. No. Those people stay in there forever. He's still out. He's out right now, though. I mean, it's like, hey, Judge, how about this? Let him live at your house for the next year to make sure that he's okay, and then put him out on the streets. Okay?
Well,
so that's a real story, too. I didn't just make that up.
It is, you have to ask. You have to wonder about things like that. Let me say this, but, in the U.S., if somebody's dead, they have no expectation of privacy. So,
yeah. I guess they're thinking,
you
well,
can't,
yeah.
You really can't chase after all of that.
Let's see.
I have another kind of weird upload to DNA database story.
Oh, yeah?
Okay, there was a Jane Doe. I won't tell you which one she is, but it was a Jane Doe, and she disappeared. It was solved by DNA Doe Project. All right. But she disappeared a long time ago. So she had a small son she was raising. Nobody really knew who the dad was or didn't know much about him. So when she disappeared, nobody knew she was killed. She just went away, didn't come home. The son was raised by his grandparents. So then anyway, fast forward recently, within the last couple of years, it was a DNA Doe case. It was a Jane Doe, and they solved it. Fine. In the meantime, okay, when you do that, you have Jane Doe's DNA, and you put it in GEDmatch, you put it in family tree, you look for the matches, and you solve it. The DNA's out there. So in parallel, the little boy grew up, and he wondered about his dad. His mother was gone. He didn't know where his mother was. That was another issue, but he was wondering who his dad was, or more about his dad. So there's a genealogist now this is independent, totally independent. He did not know they had found his mother, and she was Jane Doe. He had sort of heard, but nobody had really talked to him about the details. He didn't know. So he's looking for his father, and he takes a family tree DNA test, and the results come back that his mother is in the database. And he freaks out because his mother went missing 20 years earlier.
Yeah, and how would she have uploaded anything, right?
Yeah, that's what he was saying. My mother, how could she be alive? Where is she? But it turned out she was Jane Doe, and she had died a long time ago, and we solved it at the same time he was looking for his father, and he happened to stumble on his mother's DNA.
Oh, that's wild. So now you knew who she was. Instead of doing genealogy, he just goes, hey, that's my mom, right? Huh. That's wild.
Yeah, he knew who his mother was. I mean, he knew that part, but he didn't know his father. He just assumed his mother was gone and dead or something.
Oh, right. But she was
away.
an unidentified body that had been put into CODIS or the system, and that.
No, it was in the family tree DNA.
Yeah, but how did her DNA get on the family tree then?
Because we were working on the case.
Right, you uploaded it. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
We were trying to figure out who she was. Okay, if we had not solved it, we would have seen her son's DNA in there and go, oh my God, we know who she is. But we got there first, not knowing he was trying to find his father, and it was like a midair collision.
So sometimes when you're actually working on the case, people upload, and do you constantly refresh the, results for the centimorgan computer?
Yeah, I mean, if it's a new case, we look at it often. The genealogist is working away and pounding away at it. So you look at it often and you say, oh, I need to check this match and that. And of course, there's new ones coming along. But, if the case really gets old, or for some reason, like it's all Native American or something, then we don't check it as often, but we do go back. We do go back and check.
That's awesome.
And it has happened. In one case recently, it was like all Irish. The matches were all from Ireland. We couldn't do it. We thought the guy must be from Ireland. And then suddenly, out of the blue, here comes like a match that would be equivalent to a granddaughter or a half uncle or something, a real close relative, out of the blue after so many weeks or months. And there it is.
Wow. I mean, that's kind of interesting because I never really thought about it. I mean, you could be literally working on a case. You have like 100 centimorgans. You're just kind of frustrated.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, boom, you get this one that comes in as a son or something. It's probably incredibly rare.
It is.
I'd
say it doesn't happen every day, but we wish it did.
Yeah. All right, let me get to some more of these. Let's see. I'd like to know if there's a reason why. Okay. I'd like to know if she is ever able to get crime off of her mind. You ever get? Yeah, she said earlier she watches 90 Day Fiance. Right?
Yeah, reruns of Dance Moms.
Yeah.
No, you know what? I really don't think of this a lot outside. I'm more, when I like not doing all of this work, I'm normally thinking about the management of my company. And also, it's really interesting. I go to a writing group on Saturday mornings. I write short stories. I write tons of them. And so when in this group, it's like a meetup group I joined a long time ago. We're all friends now. And there are people that are crime writers in this group, and they will write about a crime, or some kind of odd black type story. And I just can't come up with one.
Well, what do you write about?
Well, I write about, kind of weird things that happen to me, or, ideas, picture, that just funny stories, just let me think, like the world's worst blind date. That was one I wrote. That never happened. I wrote one about
allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly. I wrote one about somebody named John Smith marrying somebody named Jane Jones, and it was awful. And because they were so generic, they didn't know what to do with their wedding. They were going to post like a happy face with a smile for the wedding photo.
Yeah, what you should do is send me some, and I'll read it. I'll actually read it like it's a story.
Okay, I'll do that.
That'd be kind of funny, like little. I could just make little short video. It just get, I don't know if you'd want that, but I'm not too bad at my narration of my other channel.
Yeah, I think they really like, in the writing class. I can't write crime. They just doesn't even come to mind. It's so many. I have so many interesting things that have happened or that I've thought about. And one time I wrote a story about a brain machine. I'll send you that one. And about a guy who was looking at brains and the brain waves and stuff. By the way, you only have half an hour. The way it works is they give you 3-sentence fragments to kind of make you start thinking.
Oh.
And then you have half an hour. You write a story in half an hour. I usually get about 700 words. And then everybody reads their story. And that's what we do every week. And I wrote, when I was new in the group, about, let's see, mid-2018 it must be. And, I was kind of getting to know people. I was a little nervous being in the group. I wrote a story about a brain machine. And when I was done, I looked up and nobody moved. And I thought, like, oh, shit, what did I do? And they were all like, and 3 people at one time said, that was fascinating. Is it true?
Oh,
and I went,
No, it's not, everybody. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, that'd be cool to read some of those, though. How about send that? You have that one? Do you have that one?
What?
Do you have that one you could
Yeah.
send? Okay.
Yeah, I can send it right now. I mean,
well, so you can send it to me. You don't have to do it right this second.
Yeah, let me. Why don't you read it? Make sure it's, not risque or, and something. But that's all right. You can or you can't. And people say I should publish the book with them, but there's so many books out there with short stories that, unless there's something special, somebody, or it's a special kind, it's. My family wouldn't even buy the book. I might sell 1 or 2 to my sister and my cousin, but.
What's weird is nobody in my family watches my show. Like, they just don't really.
Yeah.
And my friends don't watch it. Nobody except, it's just kind of weird, It's just.
They should, though. They may learn something, but.
Well, they would. We do really well on this channel, just when we look at crimes and we sort of figure out what the most likely, especially the ones that are active in the media, like going on right now. and figuring out what
Yeah.
actually happened. And then when it's all said and done, it's like, boom. Because we just go with the facts and try to speculate as close as possible. We've had some that are wild, though. Like just the craziest outcome you've ever heard in your life. So those ones you can't really predict. But most of the time, if you stick with the facts and use those to speculate reasonably, you'll come up with something that most likely happened.
Yeah. You know, one of the really most interesting cases like that where you go, oh, no, not really. That happened. I saw this crime on, it's called, I think The Camera Doesn't Lie or something. It's on streaming, like on ID Discovery. And it was this young woman went to buy a birthday card for her boyfriend. And she went to like Walmart maybe. And, you know, she bought the card. She called her mom and asked her, where do they have the cards? And her mom said, aisle 10. You know, she went over there, got the card. She walked out the store. This is all on the video camera. Walked out the store, got in her car. You could see her driving away, and nobody ever saw her again. She was found murdered close, few miles away. And it happened right then. It wasn't like she died and they looked for her forever. They found her right away. She didn't come home to dinner that night, and they immediately found her the next day. And they couldn't figure out because they saw her get in the car and drive away. So they looked at the security camera over and over, couldn't see anybody that was stalking her. Nothing was wrong. She bought the card and left. And then when one day they got the whole unit, the cold case unit together, and instead of looking on the video monitor of the computer so that everybody could see it, they put it on the wall. They projected the whole video on the wall so everybody could see it, and they wanted to see every detail because this was driving everybody crazy. And they watch her come out the store, and there's the car. You know, she gets in the car, and right as she's getting in the car, they see one pixel, and it's like zips across the screen. Right from like the other side, the car's on the other side of the aisle. Suddenly it's like one pixel you can see right up to her car, and then the car drives away. She was carjacked. That one pixel was just above the resolution of the camera, and they could see that she had been kidnapped, and they had to figure out who that guy was because that was the key. They couldn't see it on the regular screen, but when you projected it and expanded it, they could see it.
Well, they should have used digital DNA then. I'm just kidding. It's this phrase this person uses. That's a lunatic.
Well, you can't get DNA out of a picture.
Yeah, that's what I've tried to tell this. There's a lunatic on social media that calls it digital DNA. You know, this crazy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Anyways, yeah. Go ahead.
No, but you see, some people saw that, and I'm seeing the chat there. And what happened? They said, "Oh, this guy, you know, kidnapped her." So they went back to the video camera in the store, and instead of just looking, you know, in her aisle, they started looking around, and there was this guy in a white shirt, a white T-shirt, and like brown trousers, that was sort of following her around the store. He never bought anything. He just kept watching her at a distance. So they saw him come out the front door in the video, but they couldn't recognize him. They knew a white shirt, brown pants, and that was it. They realized her car was found in a nearby parking lot. You know, the guy killed her, had to return her car somewhere, so he brought it to the next shopping center over. And they figured that he left her car there, but he had to walk back to Walmart to get his own car. So they watched the video camera at this neighboring shopping center, and they saw the white shirt and the brown pants get out and walk, and they saw what his truck looked like because he had to come back. The parking lot was empty. It was late at night. And they saw what the truck looked like. So they backed up to the day, early in the day when she arrived, and they watched the video, and they saw his truck arrive. And in this case, it wasn't dark in the distance. It was somebody that drove looking for a parking spot, you know, so he was kind of in the field of view of the camera. And so they got a picture of the truck, a really good close-up with the guy, and they couldn't see the license plate, but they kind of figured out what the guy looked like and the truck looked like, and they put it on the news and they caught him within hours.
I would
Somebody
love to
recognized.
I would love to be one of those guys. The video, looking at that, because that's what I feel like I'm best at. Let's see. Yeah, I think that was on. I mean, somebody mentioned it above, but I was going to say the same thing. It was on like IDTV, See No Evil. Probably one of those episodes was all security cameras.
Yeah, right. It was. That's kind of interesting. Not all of them are interesting, but a lot of them are interesting.
Yeah, not all.
Like that one was really great.
And then somebody that same person asked, what do you do for fun to relieve stress, or just for fun?
I write
That's
stories.
The writing, okay, the writing.
And I go walking to the grocery. I can't do much these days.
Let's see. Would you have any idea why well, this one's kind of a little bit weird, but it says, do you have any idea why the Defense Department would issue according to Bill Avenina, whoever that is, the Department of Defense issued that proclamation to the military members saying, please do not use these genetic services because we're not comfortable yet as a government to understand where the genetic data goes. So, do you have any reason why they
could be a security issue, a territorial issue. I don't know what the military relationship is like to CODIS and the FBI. I think they're two different departments, or maybe the military can use part of CODIS, so they have their own military database. So it could be that genetic genealogy being taken under the wing of like the Department of Justice. There might be some Department of Defense type concern that the Department of Justice is getting control over DNA. So they don't want to put their DNA in the databases because then another agency has too much control or something like that.
Yeah, that was
my guess is.
That was Tracy Harrison. Okay,
this is a very territorial corner of the universe.
And then Zozo asks, will it ever be the plan in the near future to store everybody's DNA from birth?
I don't know. I know that it has been done. Some DNA databases were collected not for individual identification, but for like disease reasons, to look at epidemiology and stuff. And I think some of those have been destroyed out of privacy concerns.
Hey, look at that. We just got somebody says, thanks, I watched the last video the other day afterwards, and I took my DNA from Ancestry and opened a Jed match. All right.
Oh, great. All right. Everybody upload,
and
opt-in, opt-in.
Yep, upload, opt-in. I should actually just say that over and over, and I'll record it and just have it as a...
Yeah, we'll just blast people 24/7.
Yeah.
I don't know the answer to that except maybe territorial. Should we have a universal database? Well, it goes hand in hand with, will we have a universal DNA database? Well, I don't think in the near future, but Ancestry already has a pretty good one.
Yeah. So how about this? Somebody wanted to know about sweat DNA.
That's like touch DNA. Now that is really, let me tell you, this is very interesting question, more than you think. There's touch DNA, right? People know that. We've talked about that. There is, when you touch something, did we talk about that? Touching something?
Yeah, yep.
You have, on your hand, you have bacteria, you have viruses, you have lots of stuff on your hands. Biological material other than DNA on your hands. So if you touch something, you will leave that, it's called the biome behind, or the virome. And there's some interest in using that, not your own DNA, but the DNA of the bacteria on your hands and the viruses on your hands to identify you. Didn't we talk about that? We talked about that.
We talked about touch DNA, but I don't think we've ever talked about how you could identify somebody with the different bacteria that might be on somebody's hands.
Yeah, and it's been done. It's been done. where I can't, there's been studies. First of all, you're concerned that it's the same one every day, that your hand doesn't change. So if it did, you wouldn't be able to use this, but actually it's quite stable. The little ecosystem on your hands is quite stable. And it's quite similar, left and right hand. So you can never have a database. You can never have everybody's ecosystem in the database, but you can, if you narrow down the list of suspects, you can have somebody, test their sweat, which would be, part bacteria and all that other stuff.
It's probably a lot
DNA.
less, it'd be like 1 in 1,000 instead of, 1 in 87 trillion or whatever the hell.
Yeah, no, I think it would be unique.
Yeah, it'd be unique.
Yeah, well, the problem is it'd be hard. It would be very difficult to do the statistics because, you don't really know. It's, they haven't measured everybody and they don't know all the statistics on it. But I would say if you had a unique signature like a bacteria that normally most people wouldn't have, not that you'd be sick, it just happens to survive on your hands because of your body chemistry, then maybe they could narrow down. But there was a talk at the Academy of Science on that. It's very interesting.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Let me do, what part of the DNA do they look at to determine family origins or how an ethnicity is determined? Is it based on haplogroups or something else?
Yeah, well, when you take markers, like if you take markers in my DNA, you can look for markers called SNPs, really, that are characteristic of people with brown hair, characteristic of people with brown eyes. They can also be characteristic of people with diabetes. It can be characteristic of people from France. It all depends on what database you're going to compare it against.
Yeah. Okay, I got one from, well, let me do trace elements first. What she is working on currently, what are you working on currently? What would you like to work on? Any particular cases that she can't shake or have rented space in your head? And how can we help if we can let us know the ways? Trace elements 13.
Somebody asked me that if I could work on any case, and I sat there a minute. I'll tell you the ones I would really like. Zodiac. The World Trade Center.
Oh, the World Trade Center. Oh, man. Yeah, there's still a lot.
There's about 1,000 people that have not been identified or that are still missing.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Out of 3,000 something, 1,000 are still unaccounted for.
Well, what's the one that's in your head taking up space that you think about? Zodiac one would make you instant
Zodiac
Hall of Famer.
Would be great.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on with those because the cops there are real tight-lipped, Let me think. Probably I think about the boy in the box a lot. I'm kind of, wondering how that's going, and I think about that. Let's see. I think about really, we're working on so many rape cases right now and homicides that, in general, I feel real. I look at the world really different now that I do this every day. I was kind of naive to how bad things can be. And I came to the erroneous conclusion, I think, that if you're not a serial killer, you're going to be a victim one day because I'm really, when you really start to see
the numbers,
you can do genetic genealogy and you're starting to see how, your next door neighbor might be a serial killer. Not that they are, but that, there's a lot more to the world than you thought.
Yeah. We sort of had somebody last night, we were talking about Lumberton, and it's the most dangerous town in the one of the most dangerous towns in the United States. But the person who was in the chat lived there, and they were like, "You're wrong. It's so safe. It's great." But, the statistics proved otherwise. So when you look at that, you just realize that they're blind or, like being ignorant. Like ignorance is bliss. If you don't know.
And then they disappeared the next day.
Yeah, right. See, the thing is ignorance really is bliss. I never really understood what that meant until I was an adult. The phrase "ignorance is bliss." It's like,
and then you became non-ignorant anymore when
right,
you weren't happy.
Yeah, exactly. Because the more you know, about what's actually going on, the less happy you are. It's the craziest thing, or maybe not happy,
Yeah.
but you're just more kind of, like, Jesus, this sucks.
It's like that phrase was coined by parents of teenagers.
Yeah.
Ignorance is bliss. I'd rather not know.
And then they said the last part was, how can they help? How can just people in the public help in any way?
You can take a DNA test and upload to GEDmatch and opt in.
I knew exactly what you were going to say.
It's simple.
Yeah.
It's simple.
All right, now here's one from Stacy. It's kind of long, but let's see. I was wondering.
Okay, Stacy.
And Magilla Padrig is on hold up here, so let's see. I was wondering about mutilated genes, dominated genes, and recessive genes. We have a genetic mutation of the SCN5A gene that runs through our family and causes long QT type 3. An example is siblings with the same parents. We'll call, and then she's giving like an example. We'll call the siblings Rose and Tulip. Rose and Tulip. This is now you're in school again now, man. You're doing it's one of those hard questions. Let's see. Rose and Tulip's mother has the SCN5A mutation. Rose and Tulip's mother both have that mutation. Rose has the mutation, but Tulip does not. Okay, so those are, I guess, two sisters. Does not. Rose
follows so far.
Yeah, okay. And that says Rose's children have a possibility of having the mutation, but Tulip's children have no possibility of having the mutation. The mutation will God. I told people we have smart people here, but this one. Okay, hold on a sec. The mutation will never happen in Tulip's lineage ever. I was wondering what makes a mutation behave differently than recessive gene. Like blue eyes can be skipped in some generations, but still show up in later generations, even in neither parent have blue eyes. But this mutation is stopped and has no possibility of showing up in later generations. I'm not sure if I explained that right.
No, let's all clear that out.
Okay.
You have two parents, and you inherit genes from your two parents. And one of them is going to be the one that shows up and really works, and it's called the phenotype, which is the physically manifested: blue eyes, brown hair, diabetes. And the other one isn't manifested. So you can have, I'd have to go back and figure out how this works, but like, both my parents have brown eyes and brown hair, right? But I can have a blue-eyed parent and a brown-eyed parent. I can inherit blue eyes from my mom and brown eyes from my dad, and brown's going to win the day. But I do carry the blue gene, and later if I had kids and grandkids somewhere along the line, like my grandkid might marry somebody with blue eyes, and their kid would come out to get two blue genes, the blue from both sides. So there's nothing to override it, and then you have a blue-eyed child. So just because it doesn't show up in your physical characteristics doesn't mean you don't carry the gene. So I may carry the gene for diabetes, for example, but I didn't show up. You see, you don't know I have it. But when I get a kid, I marry somebody that has that same gene, the kid might get it from both sides.
Yeah, but what she's saying...
So it's like...
but she's saying something a little different, because she's saying that one particular mutation in Tulip's side, for some reason, will never happen ever in her entire lineage, ever going forward.
Well, she didn't inherit it. It's gone.
Oh,
it's not going to come back.
Oh, I see. She didn't inherit it. Like blue eyes, though, you might... It's recessive, and you could continue it on. And then even though you don't have it and your husband doesn't have it, your kids might have blue eyes, right?
Yeah, that's why men are colorblind and women are not, or rarely, because a man, women have XX and men have XY, and the gene for colorblindness is on the X chromosome. So if I have that gene, it's not going to bother me because I have another X. That's healthy. So you're not going to know that I have the colorblind gene in my DNA because I'm not colorblind. However, if my brother gets that colorblind gene, he's toast because he only has one X, right?
Well, he's not really
so
toast.
there's
He
nothing.
he's still alive. You can see it's just all black and white, right?
He's colorblind. He's not dead. I mean, he's not toasted like he's gone. He's just
I get it.
he can't. He's colorblind because he doesn't have another X to override it. That's the same thing with hemophilia and many other diseases that men get and women don't get them. Very rarely women get them. To be colorblind, I'd have to inherit the colorblind gene from my mother and my father.
Oh, and
my father has to be colorblind in order for me to be colorblind.
Okay. And at the end it says, I thank you so much, Colleen, for being here. I always learn so much, and you're such a fascinating person. There you go. See? What a nice comment.
You've made my day.
Yep. And it said right here, somebody said, okay, Darlene's, I know the answer to this one. My daughter has blue eyes. I have brown. Her dad has green. Why? And I'd say, well, ask the milkman.
Yeah, that's the way.
I don't know.
She got it's some weirdness about the green eyes, but it turns out that she got the gene for blue eyes from both of her parents is what happened.
So not the milkman. Come on, you weren't going to go with that one for a little bit?
Oh, you mean you put it together and you stir it up?
No, there was actually a milkman that came by the
house.
Oh,
the milkman. Okay, yeah.
You know, come on.
I thought you said a milkshake.
A milkshake.
I didn't know you said milkman.
A milkshake. All right, let's see. I got one more, and then we'll get Susanna in here.
Yeah, we'll get Susanna in here
with
her dog.
What is the first step?
Can we put the dog on the phone?
Does she have a dog? Or my dog?
Oh, yeah, Susanna is.
Oh, yeah, all the dogs. Well, yeah, she's got like 100 dogs. I thought you meant like you've seen it. Okay.
Oh, okay.
What is the first step to tracking down leads once you have a usable DNA sample? How do you know who or where to start first with such a large group in a database? Well, you just go with the centimorgans, right? In a database.
Yeah, right. The closest people are at the top of your list.
Yeah.
That was easy.
I'll even show you guys my, I'm on GEDmatch. It shows,
Are you really?
Yeah. Well, see, somebody, I don't know, someone might actually pretend that I'm the criminal and then work back, pretend like I'm the criminal. So you have this unknown DNA, right? And then you start with what you get on GEDmatch and then try to find me, show me how to do it. Right?
Okay.
I mean, I'd like to just sort of see it, I don't know. Maybe you could do it.
Yeah, I could. I mean, it's exactly pretend you're adopted.
Yeah.
And then look at your matches and try and build their trees out and see if you can find you in some of their trees.
It looked it looked like you were about ready you wanted to get a joke in, but you weren't sure if you
No, I was listening to plenty already.
No, that was what it was just going to be. I'm already on GEDmatch because I did what we're supposed to do, is upload it and help out. But now I'm wondering, hey, did they think I was a criminal?
No, don't even, if you say that, everybody's going to go, oh my God, I want to take my stuff off GEDmatch or else the police will come and get me and think I'm a criminal.
Well, it's a good way to
It doesn't
figure
work
out how
that
it works.
way. Just don't rob a bank.
Yeah, don't rob a bank. Don't do any assaults, anything like that.
Don't kill anybody. Don't rape, kill, none of that.
Okay, so
go home on Friday nights to your family.
I'm going to have to adjust the screen here.
Relax in front of the TV.
I'm going to have to adjust the screen here a minute because I'm going to add in Susanna and you guys can talk about the dogs. Okay, so hold on.
Okay.
Add in Susanna and you guys can
talk
about
there you are.
the
There you are. There you are.
Okay.
You're on,
thanks
Susanna.
for waiting. There she is.
Hello?
How's things in New Caledonia these days?
It never really changes, One day is much like another day. It's one day we go swimming in the pools, and one day we go diving, and then we go tooling around and homeschooling the spawn. And it's just kind of when you're not really on a normal working schedule. If you don't remind yourself today is Saturday, I might think I need to go to mass or something.
All right.
Because I think it's the wrong day. Okay, let me get back to what's going on here because I lost the page. 1 second. Okay, Fridays with Fitz. Here I am. Okay. What was the question?
You guys were talking.
The dogs sensing the underwater, bodies underwater.
Yeah. Okay. Now, what happens is that everyone, and let me start with the touch DNA, right? Now, a dog scenting is a kind of sort of like touch DNA, because we're looking at whatever your body emanates, right? And that includes dead skin cells, sweat, any number of things that can cause an odor. So it's a lot like that touch DNA, only it's the method by telling the DNA is the dog's olfactory system. And yeah, we can go down pretty deep, in the water. But there's, a lot of different variables in whether or not it would be a good application for your dog, if you follow me. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
We say a little bit more. I heard a noise and I was a little bit distracted.
That's all right. You see, with all dogs, be it detection dogs or cadaver dogs, or search dogs or protection dogs or whatever kind of dog you have, the application of said dog and its success depends on the situation. Now, with the trying to find a submerged person, if you're giving me a fairly stable big old lake of water, what you'll do is you sort of turn it into kind of a search grid with your boat, and the doggo will sit at the bow of the boat, the front of the boat, and basically just having a fine boat ride, because the dog is smelling its environment no matter what, right? So then your cadaver dog starts to, like you were saying, the ears perk up, and then there's a gland, and I won't confuse people with the name, but if you've had a dog and you see it kind of frowning in between the ears, have you ever noticed that, people? Maybe.
No.
Anywho,
No.
that's telling you that, okay, it's sort of like the radar guidance system is now starting to lock on the target, okay? And so it just locks more and more and more. And then you get to it sort of like you're circling the thing, almost in a reverse spiral. Does that make sense? And then you'll tell people, well, my dog has a really good feeling that there's something down there. Now, depending on the application, a lot of times they'll just put a line and a big old magnet on the end, right? If they think there's first. In fact, they'll do that first, actually. They'll try now lately. They'll do the magnet fishing.
Well, how do they know that there's going to be something metal on the guy?
It's a magnet fishing. I don't get that part.
Yeah, what do you mean?
Well, the magnet fishing is like if you've got a body in a car.
Oh, I see. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
A body in a car.
Sunk.
Like if a body in a car
Yeah.
and it's floating up the gases, and then you're over it and you put the magnet in, well, it's a good chance that maybe it's a car, because there's not a lot of metal at the bottom of lakes,
Right.
most of the time.
You'll try a bit of the magnet fishing, because taking a diver. What are you doing, dog? Get away. Pop it. Yeah. So I've got a dog trying to eat my cheese.
See, there you go.
So
As long as
anyway,
you don't try and talk on the phone.
we're good. So she might bark because she's getting a little frustrated. The others are outside. So you can probably go down. That's not my specialty. Having a dog out searching a big old lake, but I have had some pretty good success doing that. I mean, if you think
I also wanted to mention scent pools, because what happens, this is, my experience, which is very minimal compared to yours, but, there's a dog. Is that a dog? Yeah, it is. That, in looking for, in having the dog alert, we had a situation where the dog alerted on a hillside, and there's, first of all, and then they, dug in this area looking for, and they came up with a cow skull. And there was a lot of concern that the dog was picking up the scent of non-humans and that it was getting confused and that we couldn't use the dog. But what happened is that the body or whatever murder happened on the top of this hill. And over time it had rained, and a lot of the chemicals had washed, the decomp chemicals had washed down the hill and had been absorbed by this cow skull. So the dog alerted on the cow skull, not because of the skull, but because of the decomp human chemicals that had been absorbed by the cow bones.
Exactly. Yeah. Now the only way you can fool a cadaver dog, okay, and it's no big secret, so I can tell you, is that with a pig, a porcine. If I was ever going to murder someone and I wanted to really hide the body in a really good place, I'd go find me a huge porcine pig ranch, and I'd put it in there, because the first thing we'll train the dogs on, because pigs and dogs smell the same.
Well, thanks for the tip, by the way. I'll keep that in mind. My friend, you know what he does? His cadaver dog died and he got a new one. And the way he trained it, he had this like dog toy, and it was like this pipe or something, and it had a tennis ball that had decomp odor on it, a certain odor. And he'd pop the ball up, and the dog would go for the ball, and he'd have the fun of getting the ball, but he would smell the smell that smelled like decomp, and then the dog got trained on that smell.
Does each person have a unique decomp? Like, let's say you had a lake filled with like 7 or 8 bodies, and you got the boat going around, and then there's just gases coming around. Man, that dog's all over the place, right?
Well, what will happen is, stop it, dog. In the most perfect of worlds, what you do, I think everyone knows there's this thing called cadaver farms, body farms. Where they have dead bodies and they do all sorts of things. You'll get the ones they're just waiting for the gas in their stomach to erupt, and then they have skeletonized ones, and they've got ones that have dropped after they've hung themselves and all that. So with the dogs, at least how I have been taught to do it, is we start first having them find objects with human blood on it. And that's what they start with. So basically we're pricking ourselves. So we start with the blood, and then we know they are on that and they understand that piece of it. Then we'll go and we'll get more complicated, and we'll go to the pig. And then after the pig, we'll go on human beings. And they don't really... Dead smell is pretty much not what they're not smelling what you and I smell as a dead person, okay? For us, it reeks. And it may smell differently depending upon a stage of composition. They're smelling something entirely different.
They are discerning. They do get human. The dogs I know just pick up humans.
Yeah,
they don't pick up other, and they go for there are chemical analysis of soil which can show you the decomp chemicals are in the soil. You can identify them. Yep,
that's how it works. None of my cadaver dogs will alert on a dead cat or a dead anything. They only alert when they detect the odor associated with a human being that's
Is there any way, though, to distinguish, though, like if you give a scent of the person and the decomp, that there's some kind of a unique signature to each individual human who's decomposing, I guess is the term. Does that sound kind of like a crazy question?
You're talking with dogs about two different things, okay? If I have a cadaver dog sitting here, which I do actually, she's got her nose on my cheese. She's only looking for deceased, and she's not looking for deceased Susanna or deceased Alec or deceased Colleen, okay? She's looking for the dead. and she don't care who it is. It's dead.
Yeah.
You got me?
Well, Susanna, when you see the films with the, let's say somebody missing, and they get the person's clothes and they hang it, and the dog smells the clothes, and the dog starts running away after the scent. Is that particular to the person, or that must be particular?
That's a search dog. That's not a cadaver dog.
Oh, okay.
If
all
I
right.
It's their
I
scent
could put
dog.
a ride in front of this beast's nose, and she does know how to search. She just does. But stop it, dog! It's not cheese. Go away.
I wish this was on video.
So, yeah,
She's getting
so you have
attacked.
to understand the difference between. Okay, I give in. Here, get your cheese. Take it. Go. All right. So what I was going to say. So a cadaver dog has a unique purpose. All right.
Colleen looks like I look every time I talk on the phone.
I'm sorry.
Oh my
I'm
God!
sorry.
Every time,
A
every
cadaver
single
dog
time.
the cadaver dog is uniquely trained from a search dog. It's
I
just
see.
going to hit
And,
on something that's dead.
I'm fascinated too by scent pools, because you may kill somebody at the top of the hill, but over time it'll rain and all of that will go to the bottom of the hill, and the dog will alert at the bottom of the hill, but actually the murder happened at the top of the hill. And I've seen also a case where the guy buried a body, and I think this is right, in a goat pen where they had goats. And over time, the goats kind of pounded the dirt, so it got really very hard. And so the body, when it started to decompose, and the decomp chemicals kind of wicked up around the side of the goat pen. You could see them around the side, but not in the goat pen.
Oh. Yeah, because there's a biological. Yeah, I'm entity, because I would believe that. I mean, yeah, sure. You're not going to have an actual human corpse to have a hit. You can get a hit on where someone has temporarily put. Yeah, because you can get a hit. Like, say you kill someone and you sit them aside for maybe a day before you figure out what you're going to really do with your body. If you're following me, I'll find the first place, the day. Then I'll find wherever you put them. Okay?
Yeah. So you could actually, hey, hold on. You could actually, like in the sample that Colleen was just talking about, it seems like once you got the dog, going into that pool area, going, oh, it's right here, but it wasn't really
It wasn't there.
Yeah, you could probably still track it up because there's still some scent going up, so you should have the dog continue to look around.
I think you could do that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can do a lot. I could get into the cone scent, or what some people call scent cones, and how they waft and what's not, but I don't think people would be interested in hearing
because
about
you could be
that.
you could have a dog looking at the bottom of a cliff, sitting around alerting, but the body was at the top of the cliff, and all the fluid, dripped down or whatever rain, and nobody, and you wouldn't even have you'd think, oh my God, somebody moved the body. It was right here. We know it was.
No.
But
No, it didn't move on purpose. It rotted.
Yeah.
But you almost always, unless someone works really hard, okay, you're going to very often have some sort of skeletal remains, and that, of course, is kind of like for a cadaver dog. That's kind of like an orgasm. It makes it very easy to do what they want to do, and I prefer it because, frankly, I don't really much like poking around in the dirt for something that's still in a state of rot.
Yeah. Because
they have this really bad habit of kind of ickiness, general ickiness. So I prefer to find, skeletal remains, or with my search dogs, I want to find living people. I mean, that's what I really
Susanna,
want to do.
I was in this class, or just a exhibit, or just a talk on, cadaver dogs, or dogs that knew how to smell. And this guy, he had put somewhere in the room beforehand, he had put a little cement thing, a little concrete block with a tooth in it, a human tooth in it. And he was talking. Then it came time and he told his dog to get, go find, go. He has some kind of signal. He tells the dog to start searching, like he yells out, cheese, and the dog takes off. And within moments, the dog found that tooth in the cement, little block.
Oh, for sure. It's no problem. The only way you might, in that kind of situation, and hey, I hate to tell a secret, is if you put the thing in a glacier, you might not have very good luck. But yeah, you can. I found buddies under patios, cement patios.
Oh, patios.
The dog can go down. It depends on how good the dog is. Not all dogs are as talented, or the handler is talented, but you can go down more than 15 feet, easy.
Underneath concrete?
Underneath concrete, yeah.
Oh,
and
wow.
you can even put, we have a joke here, we do pig roast. I'm a vegetarian. I don't like pigs. And the joke is, okay, yeah.
Man, bacon. I love bacon. I could eat bacon all day long if that was the only food.
I won't eat pigs. A pig is more sentient than one of my dogs. So I feel, I have this sort of
they don't look more. Here's the thing.
I can understand.
They don't look more sentient, though. That's the thing. So I'm okay with eating bacon.
They're real smart.
They are very smart.
Very smart. So I'm not going to, participate in the suffering of these porcines. But they, that's just me. And if my husband wants to eat pork, or my kids even, it's more power to them. I don't really stop them. But the joke is, okay, if we want to do really fool Susanna, is we'll do a pig roast on top of some cement slab and bury about 15 feet down, and just to bedevil Susanna. And I said, well, now that you tell me about this, I'm going to do something and get one of my dogs to maybe trick you all into, and I can find it. But, there's certain things that, you're back, you cheese thief. Get some more. What was I going to say? With cadaver dogs, okay, you have to know when to use them, where to use them. Now, I have a really good hit percentage. I'm in the high 80s. But because I know, I know when to fold a hand and say, no, this is not the application for this problem. Okay? It's not, if someone gives me, I don't know, 1/2 mile square, I'm going to say, excuse me, I'll search your 1/2 mile square for you, but you're going to pay me $100,000 to do it because I have to go through it with 3 dogs. And wow. I don't always work for
100,000.
I work a lot.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't. There's not so many cadaver dogs out there that are good. There are a lot of iffy cadaver dogs. Okay, and see me, I'm not going to go out to this 1/2 square mile piece of land, take one dog over it, buddy, and say, okay, I didn't get a hit. No, I won't do that.
Yeah.
I'll go back through with at least one other, if not 2 other dogs, okay? And I might even do something more. So that's why it can cost a lot of money to hire a cadaver dog. So that's why people rely on the goodness of volunteers.
It'd be cool if they got like a scent. It'd be cool if they could get a scent pig out there. What do you think? Have they tried that yet?
Well, they got these.
Because they smell well.
Well, they've got these. Well, porcines can find truffles.
But they have a really, don't they have really good scent ability with that nose
they do.
got?
Yeah. I mean, I've made being Irish, I get a lot of pig jokes. And Colleen will understand. There's a lot of pig jokes if you're Irish.
What do you mean? Wait, listen. Colleen's making a face like, well, hold on a second. Colleen's going, what are you talking about?
We even have the same last name, and I don't know anything about the pig jokes.
She has no have a clue what you're talking about.
Well, there is pig. Well, maybe it's only the Brits that give me the pig. I don't know. Anyway,
something like when pigs fly or something, or never teach a pig to sing because you waste your time and you annoy the pig.
Well, it's this old thing, during the Hunger Times, we lived on, potatoes and buttermilk and very little else, maybe some cabbage. But if you're really lucky, you had a pig. And that's, I think, how it started.
But what's the joke? Tell me one of the jokes that you've heard that had something to do with that. Just so we can go, that one.
Well, that pigs were extra special to the Irish. And I would say, well, I'm not so sure they're extra special to us. And it's not like I'm going to have a pet pig because I'm Irish.
Yeah, but what's the joke? Where we go... We get the punchline and we just go, yeah.
No, I don't really. I don't
Never
really have a
wrestle
good...
with a pig. Never wrestle with a pig. You only get dirty and the pig enjoys it. How about that one?
The pig. Yeah. Well, that'll work. But see,
You got the drum roll.
I went for like I travel a lot, right? And I went for about 2 years, picking on my husband, saying, "I want a pet pig.
Oh, man.
I want a pet pig." And if I get a pet pig, I'm going to call him Boris. So I want this pet pig.
Boris.
Usually, if I want something, if I ask my husband, 99% of the time I get it. But I never did get my pet pig. So I'm still waiting on it.
When's your birthday?
My birthday is in August. Actually,
hey,
August 14th.
We're collecting money here. I mean, this is a YouTube channel. Please, let's collect money for Susanna's pig.
No, I'm going to put it in a portion of it into the fund for the DNA. It's more important. I would want to eat it.
I'll have to set up a GoFundMe, a porcine GoFundMe, maybe, or something like that. Exactly, and they're very clean animals. They're cleaner than dogs. They're smarter than dogs. You don't have to worry about fleas so much. There's a lot of advantages.
You know what's smarter than a pig?
You say watch pig. Can you have a watch pig?
Oh my God!
Can you have a sheep herding pig?
Can a pig save you from a fire?
Can be bloody vicious.
Yeah.
Pardon?
Can a pig swim out in a lake and drag you back in? That's what I want to know. Help you out.
I have no idea.
Pig would sing.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I don't think they would swim well. I mean, not all dogs are great swimmers anyway.
Watch pig.
We've sort of... Yeah, well, you know what my great-grandpa had?
Hey, there's $2 for Susanna's Pig Fund. Look at that. $2.
I just donated $2 to get your pig. Is that enough to buy a pig? Wait, stop. I need to know something. Is that enough to buy the pig in New Caledonia? $2?
I could get a pig in parts of Brazil for $2.
No, but New Caledonia, those are U.S. dollars. So is the dollar strong enough to cash it in for New Caledonian dollars to get a pig down there?
What do you need?
No, New Caledonia is French.
Okay, what do you need? How much are you going to need to buy that pig? How much are you going to need?
Pardon?
Hey, let me ask you this. Listen, you know what? Let me tell you this. Yeah, I feel the same way. Look, how much are you going to need to buy that pig? Huh?
Oh, I'll have to look it up. And see, I bet I need, I get a really well-bred pig. It could cost more than a pet pig, It's like canines here. I have working dogs, and they cost more than if I buy a pet dog. So I'll have to get a pet line pig as opposed to a breeding stock pig. So it would be cheaper.
Hey, let me ask you.
I really thought I'd learn in the last 30 seconds.
Oh, God. Hey, let me ask you this.
Somebody put in this, we were talking about watch pigs. Somebody put in there, a watch pig never
Never what? Never what?
Boils. A watch pig never boils.
That's pretty good.
Ray, my sides are hurting. Please send the paramedics.
Please.
Send the paramedics, please.
That was Dan
Almost
Carr.
laughing myself to death.
That's Dan Carr, a watched pig never boy.
That's another $2.
Well, he's pretty cool because he's right up there on our poem leaderboard. He wrote a good poem.
Well, wait. I want to make sure. Wait. Another question. If we get you this watch pig, are you going to get rid of the dogs, or can they get along together? Will the pigs sleep next to the dogs?
Yeah.
I'm sure they would. Yeah, I have no, I mean, if I got a pig when it was an infant pig, an immature pig that the dog would consider like a puppy and put it in the pack. Yeah,
okay,
I can pack up a dog with a lot of different creatures. It doesn't have to necessarily be a canine to be in the dog's pack. But
you train it to be a watch pig, though.
Well, it can't bark, can it? If I had they're big creatures. They're not small little piggly pigs. So I maybe could train it. I probably could train it, to run at whomever and knock it off its feet, and then sit on its face or something. Yeah, I could train it.
Hey, let me ask you something. What about this? What about crows?
Should we make an additional collection for a little saddle?
Oh yeah.
You see. Well, you see, what I have to also do is one of the guys here, actually two of the guys here, one of them, his name is Matt, and he's got this obsession with doing pig roast. What he'll do is he'll take his pig, or he does tuna right now, and they'll wrap it in banana leaves, right? Make a deep hole in the sand or the dirt, and you drop the carcass
like in Hawaii.
That hole.
They do
and
in Hawaii.
You cover it up. Yeah, so I would only have to be...
We're not buying you this pig for a pig roast, okay?
Yeah, it's like, wow, let's all get it together, and there's this big video with you meeting it, and then all of a sudden the next scene is it getting put into a roast pit. That's not really...
No, I would train... I would have 2 or 3 of the dogs trained to protect that pig, because right now
you have a watch pig, but you have the dogs trained to watch the pig.
The watch pig will have guard dogs.
Oh man!
Well, who's watching the guard dogs?
You don't think that the dogs are going to look at the pig and they might want to eat the pig? They've already probably given it.
Maybe dogs eat bacon.
Yeah, they love bacon.
No, not mine. No, mine have never tasted it. But besides, like I was saying, that pig will become one of their pack. They'll never eat that pig. That pig
you need the guard dogs to watch the pig, but who watches the guard dogs? Do you have guard?
Me.
Watching the guard dogs and watching the pig. The one.
It would, the other thing I could do, but see, my dogs, they're used to wearing GoPros when they do some of their work, they actually, they take video from the dog's point of view. All I'd really have to do is put the GoPro cameras on the guard dogs, and then the video will stream to my tablet or my cell phone or one of the security monitors, and then I can be watching the guard dogs as they are looking at the pig.
Man, this is some
complicated. Why don't we just cut the pig out the equation and let you play with your dogs?
Hey, here's a go.
Yeah,
hey, I was going to say this. I was going to say this. Crows are smarter than all of them. Have you ever looked at what their ability?
So, when in university, we would do some studies. Crows are bloody clever.
Well, they're really intelligent.
You can see,
I mean,
you can see
hold on a second. I always tell this one where there's a beaker. Listen how crazy this is. There's a beaker with a mealworm at the bottom, right? And then they provide the crow with just a paper clip, and the crow goes over, and the mealworm's in a little bucket inside the beaker, right? So they provide the paper clip to the crow, and the crow goes over and bends it around, makes a hook out of it, puts it into the beaker, and lifts out the pail and puts it over here, and then he eats it. So, I mean, the fact that it made a little tool to be able to get that out is so much higher level.
That's very interesting, isn't it? I saw that. I think it's very interesting.
Yeah. So the
And
thing
it
is,
shows
a lot of crows are smarter than some people I know, which is interesting. You
Oh.
know,
yeah. So what you should do is
Yeah,
train
I
the
mean,
crow to. Why don't you get a scent crow, and see how that one does out there? Wouldn't that be amazing?
I've never trained them. It would be amazing if I knew how to train a bird. It would be the same as training a dog. Generally, you have behavior and reward and that other stuff. You know, I mean, when I was at University of California at Davis, I had to work for money. You know, people work for money, and so I had 3 jobs. I cleaned out horse stable that was near, so I was mucking out horse shite, right? Then I would clean up the dog run, so I was mucking out dog shite. Then they had this tiger who was at the veterinary school because it had a dodgy heart. And I made friends with the tiger, and I was the one who would clean up the tiger enclosure. So I'm good at cleaning up shite. So I can
have
keep
one hand now.
No, the tiger was pretty much had a barrier that you drop down, you know, so the tiger would have it. So, you know, but the thing never ever hit the side of the its enclosure when I was around. It seemed everyone said, well, that beast likes you, and I said, well, you know, what I do is I talk to it all the time. You know, because I babble, you know, and I said, well, all the time I'm around it, I talk to him, and I think he likes hearing me, so he's not going to eat me. So you know, and they did a procedure on the tiger's heart, and they saved the tiger, and I was very happy, you know, when the tiger was saved, because I like the tiger.
Well, I have a story when you know, my partner Andy died. Okay, well, thank you for your sympathy, but he died in 2016, and we had. Okay, so before that, we had 2 African gray parrots and 2 tortoises. One tortoise was like the size of a big dinner plate. It was a California desert tortoise. It was an endangered species, threatened species. And the other was a sulcata, which is really huge. And they would roam the garden. We had the 2 African grays in a glass enclosure, and in the enclosure were 2 separate cages. And so one day I was it was outside, and the glass enclosure was against the back of the house. So you could, you know, be in the shower and you could look out the window and see the birds. The birds could look in the window and see you. So one day I was walking up the hall, and from outside the house, I heard the male African gray go, in my partner Andy's voice, I heard him say, no, don't do that. No, don't do that. And so I got kind of concerned. I said, oh my God, what's going on? Don't do that. No. And Andy used to always tell the bird that when he was wrong, he'd say, don't do that. So the bird sounded just like Andy. And he was, no, don't do that. So I said, Andy, there's something wrong here. Can you go check? So he goes out, he goes around. I hear him in the, you know, something going on in the bird aviary. And then, you know, so then he comes back. He says, what happened was that this glass enclosure had a screen door, and the screen door had fallen off, and the tortoise had come into the enclosure, and she was eating the bird seeds off the ground in the bird enclosure. No. And the bird knew that was wrong, that she shouldn't be in there. So the bird was disciplining the tortoise and saying, wow. No, don't do that. No.
Did the bird ever make that? So even after Andy passed away, did the bird still have his voice sometimes?
No, the bird died before Andy did.
Oh, okay. That would have been kind of weird.
He was 30-something years old. And then in another case, the female, we take her out. She'd be very calm, easy to deal with. But one day, she climbed up the male's cage and got on the top. It was really like way above my head. And she went in the far corner, so I couldn't get her. I couldn't get her back in the cage, and I couldn't leave this glass enclosure. I couldn't open the door until I got her back in that cage. So I took the net, she ate the net, and I was kind of like herding her to the corner of the male's cage. And so I wanted her to climb down, because if I could get her close, I could get her a towel around her and get her in the cage or something. So we're struggling. She's squawking. She's upset. I'm with the net. I'm trying to, get her sorted out. The male is in his cage and he's watching this happen. In Andy's voice, he said, "Oh, come on now. Oh, come on now." And she quieted down. That was her man, right? Telling her everything was going to be all right. Oh, come on now. She was fine. She got back in her cage. It was like,
that's crazy.
He knew how to do that. They're smart.
That's wild.
Yes, they're excellent. I know they're really excellent problem solvers. I think she's still doing it, where she's had a series of African grey parrots. I forget the university, where they're teaching, yellow to be associated actually with the color yellow, and if this is a key or not. But the problem with that intensive training on the parrots is they began to pluck their feathers. It was too much stress.
We didn't do that. We just no, we didn't do that.
They were right there, because there's a difference in learning. You learn by observation, which is what the birds do, right? Your parrots were doing.
Right. We didn't didn't force them.
Exactly.
Do you still have those turtles?
What was happening in this other study, or this other program, is she was actually forcing learning on the animal. An animal. So.
I tell you, when I was staying at Andy's house, in his wife's house, I had surgery, so I was just staying with them a few days. And so the first morning I was at their house, I woke up and I heard the phone ring. And then I heard Andy say, I heard the phone ring. And then after a while, I heard his wife say, "Andy, can you go see if that's that bird again, or if it's really the phone?" And it was the bird ring. Actually, the bird went, ring, ring. It sounded just like a phone. And then in Andy's voice, he'd go, "Hello? Okay, bye."
Yeah, I know they're such good mimics like that.
Yeah.
Now, someone asked me, before I forget, someone asked me, do people rent out trained, say, cadaver dogs or search dogs or detection dogs? And the answer is yes. What?
Okay, good. You got the answer. Well, hold on. You said yes. So let me ask. I was going to ask Colleen something about the other one. Do you still have those turtles?
No, actually, when Andy died, we had to sell the house. A lot of stuff happened. I gave the tenants stole both of the tortoises, and it turned out that they did not. They only stole the big one, and I could never find it. The little one was hibernating because he's California desert tortoise, so we thought he was gone. But when the weather warmed up, he came out again. We found him, and I gave him to the across the street neighbor on a permanent loan, because the neighbor had a female tortoise that was a little bit older and kind of had been hit by a car, but she was fine. So we figured that just let them be together, and he had a lot of grass in his, I just have a patio with cement, he would have been in danger. So I let him go. He now had a new girlfriend, in a lot of grass to eat. So playing around. So did you get in trouble for the,
it's being an endangered turtle though? I mean, did you out yourself there by mentioning that?
No, it was threatened. It was threatened species, and we had to register him with the state. We were only foster parents. We could not adopt him.
I see.
Yeah. So he wouldn't be endangered. He would be threatened. You can't own an endangered species without a really special license.
Yeah, no, he was threatened. He was threatened.
Yeah. Yeah, and one thing we do with the dogs that are sort of what I would say loaned out is that we have a lot now of canines that are trained to detect only certain types of biological contraband, and that contraband is right now rhino horn, ivory, pangolin, tiger penis, cripes.
Yeah, that's interesting because if you take an international flight and I've done this many times, you come into LAX and you're kind of in the line to present your passport. You're just waiting there. Not really. You won't even notice this. Somebody will come walking around with a little dog on the leash, and you might not even pay attention. You just look, but that dog is sniffing your carry-on for anything. And one time I had an orange in my carry-on, and I forgot about it, and the dog found the orange in my bag. I mean, it was this little teeny dog, little, like it was not like a big lab with a big wet nose. It was more like a Cocker Spaniel with a little wet nose. And it was like just walking around to hello, and it was nailing, this stuff in the suitcases.
Yeah, they'll do that. In the UK, you see a lot of English Springer Spaniels that do that. And yeah, you'll get goosed by a dog, lots of different places. I mean, last time I was in Las Vegas, there was a beagle doing a luggage.
Were you a goose?
And
Right.
You get a lot of beagles. Now my best detection dog right now is a dog of uncertain parentage. He's a former Brazilian street dog. And, if you're the result of 5 or 6 or even 10 generations of dogs in Sao Paulo who managed to survive life on the street, that is intelligence you can't breed, into one of my Czechoslovakian German Shepherds. My street dogs are smart. And people get on me, they laugh at me. They say, well, you've got these mongrels. And I say, well, I'll put my mongrel against your Dutch Shepherd any day for detecting, I don't know, I say, hide me some C4 and my mongrel will find it. And so I like mongrels for that type of purpose. So I've got
Do you fly dogs in?
Yeah. Yeah, so I fly dogs all over the world, yeah. I sell my dogs mainly, the ones that I will train to sell to clients, they are 70% German Shepherds from Czechoslovakia, and 30% basically of different working lines that I understand. I know the breeders and I understand their genealogy. Because with working dogs, their genealogy is as telling as a human being as to what they can do as far as work will do. Not all German Shepherds are the same. Some are not. Some there's different lines, different breeding. So you have to know what you're working with. But with the dogs I train, I used to train for a company that the one I still work for, and then they would send people out to wherever, and they would be handling what I would consider my dogs, and they would do some things that I found unacceptable. So I stopped abetting that process, and I said no. I'm not going to have anything to do with how you deploy the dogs if you don't deploy them the way I've told you to deploy them. So yeah. But there are people, the big one that I've heard of, and I can't promise, but I've heard of, is that exterminating companies will bring in bed bug detection dogs. They've now got dogs that they've trained to find bed bugs and only bed bugs. But they don't need to use them all the time, so they don't have to own one, and they don't have to train a person to handle one. So they've got these bed bug detection dog contractors out there, and I guess they're making good money.
Yeah, you know what's amazing is we went from
This seems like a waste.
We've been sniffing gas we went from sniffing gas out of a lake to sniffing bed bugs. That's a pretty big divergence.
It's been the same thing. We have, and one way I can explain how good dogs scent to people is a dog's, part of the dog's brain that is used to process scent and odors takes up 40% of its brain. So if you look at Blue over there, if you could look inside his little head, 40% of it is going to be busy trying to make sense of its surroundings based on the smell and the smell alone.
Mm-hmm.
And it's 40% of his own brain.
Awesome. I wish we used that much of our brain. We use very little.
Right. We don't. It's amazing how animals will use.
Well, they're so small. They've got to.
Than human beings do.
Yeah, like
We've
I said
got so
before,
much garbage DNA in us.
My brain is so large. It's hard to think quickly. That's what I've told people a lot. It's so big that I have a thought over here, and then it takes a minute to get over here. From that, my synapses have to fire a long ways compared to the rest of you. I'm more Neanderthal. Okay, they had 1,800 cubic centimeters.
Yeah. Yep. And people will rag on, how Europeans being, how Neanderthal DNA, even though that DNA, I think Colleen would know, I think better, is really used to be thought as kind of just garbage sitting out there, but now I think maybe it has some.
If you put
I say that I'm a proud survivor. I am a proud descendant of the survivors.
Yeah, if you put my DNA in the if you put my DNA in the Jed match, you're gonna come back with Rog and Oglag as my cousins, okay? Because they are definitely Neanderthal. Mm-hmm. You can tell by the shape of my head and everything. What about you? Yeah,
I keep telling people I'm Denisovan, but yeah.
What?
So anyway, let's go back to the cadaver.
No,
the
I don't
oldest cadaver I've ever found.
Hold it. You can do that, but Colleen's been on. I don't know how long you've been on there. Almost like 3 hours now.
Have I put her to sleep? I'm so sorry.
I'm kind of wearing out.
Yeah. So let's just
do it. I need to shut up.
Let's just do it on a different show.
I need to shut up and let you talk.
No, you don't. No, you don't. I'm listening.
Yeah.
I'm very fascinated by the whole a watch pig doesn't boil.
Yeah, that was a great line, wasn't it? I didn't even get that.
Out of my head.
I didn't even get that at first because I was trying to figure it out, but it really just meant like these dogs that are watching, because you said there was dogs watching the pig. So, then it's not going to get boiled because, it had a whole food connotation.
Watch pot doesn't boil.
Right, it's part of that. So. That's that joke, yeah, but it was like...
okay.
Yeah,
had more
meaning. Keep going.
I'll get back to what might be interesting to people. Is as far as I have heard, the oldest piece of human remains that have been found by a cadaver dog is 2,600 years old. The main reason I think and it's in Croatia, I think, or Chechnya, Croatia. I'm going to say Croatia, but it might be Macedonia or Albania. But down in there, the reason she got that 2,600-year-old hit is because of the specific substrate upon which the deceased was enclosed. But it was 2,600 years, and it was a good hit. Now, I have got totally not looking, okay. I got, I think they said it was 680-ish, plus or minus so many years. My dog found a femur, and let's see, an ankle and the knee thing on a path near Lincoln, and it was of some medieval person. And I've always wondered, I wish I could do the DNA of that, medieval person to see, how much, where he came from. But anyway, we found that.
How old is
we were just walking. It was
2,600.
Let's see. Yeah, plus or minus so many years, and I think it was 40.
I know How far back was it? I mean, how old was it?
I thought you said 2600.
Oh, okay.
So
I missed
that was
that.
the one. That was not my hit.
Oh.
I would never claim to have a 26 year. No, I have had two old hits based on just sure blind Irish luck. The first one being this medieval, probably some peasant or whatever. And what had happened is that over time there was a place where people were buried. And in the UK, you know, holy ground becomes unholy ground really easily. And so with erosion and stuff, actually, truthfully, there was probably only a few inches of dirt between that medieval body and where people were on a footpath. And I thought that was really unpleasant. So I found that one. So it was not very, very deep, mind you. Then I was puttering about with some people, just puttering, and I found myself a Anglo-Saxon burial, and the burial was of someone who had been cremated, put into a clay vessel. Then they put the vessel under a mound or a grave, right? But they turned it upside down. The reason I think I found it is that really they didn't do like a crematorium does now. Their funeral pyres weren't as efficient. So I have a lot of good bone in there. So that one was 680-ish. After the archaeologists came and looked at the pottery, you know, they had to have something to date the area. And I was really kind of proud of my dog on that one. That's the best hit I ever got.
Awesome.
And I didn't do it on purpose.
Cool.
That's the best hit I ever got.
Well, I'm gonna start winding down the show. But I got more some questions over here.
But my original written question was, how does one get in touch with somebody to help doing the genealogy part?
I already asked her that. I did your question on the air.
I wasn't here.
Well, you have to go back and
Just
listen to
the
it
DNA
later.
test. Oh, Susanna, you should take the DNA test because you're McGillifardrick.
Yeah.
And you should take an FT. Is your dad still around?
No, and my brother died of COVID last.
I'm sorry.
May.
Do you have any?
No,
Do you have
sorry.
any male relatives named McGillifardrick?
I think I have one in Golden, Colorado. I'll go. Yeah. You see, you don't have time for the history of my family. I'm what we call in my family jokingly a double Fitz, which means I have Fitzpatrick in one way, shape, and form on both sides of my family.
I'm saying you need to take
that
relative needs to take the Y DNA test. That's the interest, the male line of the family.
Okay.
So
yeah, unfortunately, my brother, he didn't have any sons. He had daughters. His sons were adopted. So you have
to have this relative in Colorado then, if it's a direct male line and it's a McGillifardrick. We would be very interested in that.
Okay. Now, my McGillifardrick came from, you know how in 1606, and 1617, you know, that the flight of the wild geese thing. And, you know, my Fitzpatricks went to France and became mercenaries for the French army.
Okay, so they're from Limerick. They're originally from Limerick.
Yeah, exactly. So they also go to France and whatever. And what happened is, this one in the time of the 7 Years' War, they went over to France to fight the English over Quebec. And because he was a high enough officer, he brought his wife and children. Well, he had the bad luck of dying at Fort Caroline, Ticonderoga. So he died. His family got abandoned in Quebec, and they settled in Julia Saint Kildare in Quebec. Then one of them went to Connecticut to visit somebody we not know who. He got conscripted into the Union Army. Totally, he didn't speak English, mind you, but they conscripted him anyway. So he goes off and he fights in the Civil War for the Union. And he's not even an American, you know. And he gets shot up. And when the war ends, he decides not to wait to be released from duty. He goes AWOL and he goes straight to Colorado. And he found gold. And so then what happened is some of us went back to Ireland. And that's the story.
Well,
So, yeah,
you know,
we're from
you
Limerick.
if you get the mail line, if you email me or we'll talk later, I'll tell you how to do that, because that would be very interesting for us to get your DNA. I'm not sure how many people we have from Limerick.
Yeah, I think I can dig up that person in Golden, because I've met that person. Probably he's dead, the one I met, but he has a son, so I can more than likely find the son and get his. Even if I have to send one of my relatives to ambush him and stick a needle in his arm, I'll do it. Or whatever.
Okay, it's a plan. It's a deal.
Yeah, I'll work hard to get the Fitzpatrick DNA for you, or what passes for it.
All right.
Okay. Well, sorry to have told everyone the history of my family. I'll let you go.
Okay.
And
that's fine. That's fine.
Have a good one.
Yeah, I'm sure people didn't want to hear about pigs for 20 minutes.
I enjoyed the pig
It was
part.
funny. It was
I
funny.
enjoyed the pig part very much.
All right.
Watch pig doesn't boil. I'm going to sleep on that tonight.
Have a good one. Have a good one.
Yeah, I like that one, and everybody, please don't get the COVID. You know, like I say, I lost my brother from it, and it's a
I
horrible
almost
thing
lost mine. But he pulled through. He had the last rites twice, but he managed.
Oh, nice.
He's still with us.
Yeah,
Oh, good.
yeah. See, my problem was I was on the other side of the world, and I couldn't get to him before he passed.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we're still not able to have the wake for him because of the the restriction on how many people can gather together in one place. You know, so you can't have a wake with 10 people. It just doesn't work that
not
way.
an Irish wake.
No. So, it's like sitting here in a holding pattern. I know he's gone. He's gone, and he's gone forever. But, part of saying goodbye, I think it's having the end of a process, and I haven't come to the end of
Where
it.
did he die? Where was he when he died?
Oh, he was in a place called Sedona, Arizona.
Oh, Sedona.
Oh, Sedona.
That's
Okay,
the
I
art.
thought he
That's
was
the
in
art
Ireland,
area.
but-
My biological father used to live there. That's where he was a painter. Everybody paints there.
My brother was a mechanical engineer, and he worked for a couple big airlines, and then he was a NASA contractor, and that's what he was doing. Mainly
Okay, well,
before he
all right, because
passed away.
I probably could drive to Sedona. I don't know where it is in Arizona, but I certainly could drive to Arizona with not too much effort. But I won't do that tonight.
Yeah. Well, the wake is supposed to be in Arizona. I don't know. It should be really where they're going to plant him. But he's been cremated. I had an argument about that because I'm Catholic, and you're really not supposed to be cremating people. But he's been cremated, so I think his remains right now are in Oklahoma, but they're going to go back to be buried. Yeah. So anyway, people don't even want to know about that either. So please, people, don't get the COVID, and
wash your hands, maintain your social distancing, wear a mask, get the vaccine, and when it comes out, the second that you see it. All right.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for calling in.
Bye-bye.
All right. See you later. All right, bye.
Susanna, talk to you then.
Bye.
Okay. God love you all. Bye.
Bye. Oh. Oops. No, you can keep it there. I have to fix it on my end. It's like a weird system.
Oh, you have the little template, the little.
Yeah, well, the reason
window.
is so the window with just you and I, you fit into this thing that I use. But when she came on, you got slid up, and then it moves you out of there.
It's like we're living next to each other, and we're just waving through the windows.
Yeah.
I get it.
Except when she came in, it moved your window up. So then I was like, where are you?
That's better.
Yeah, so, that was interesting.
Yeah, it was.
We're all over the map.
interesting.
Whenever she calls in, it just goes all over the place. But
You know, the whole watch pig was very interesting to me. I'm thinking, you know, I need a pet, so you know,
yeah.
watch pig, you know, wouldn't really hurt, you know.
And if you ever
animal.
got like no grocery stores are open or anything like that, you've got bacon and some nice little pork chops available for yourself.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't do that to my pet, but I get
Right,
the
yeah.
idea.
Well, in a pinch you might, right? Like, okay, for example, if you were one of the passengers on that plane that crashed in the Alps, the one that people had to eat people.
Oh yeah.
Would you ever
right.
get to that point? Like if you were just at that one?
I don't know. I mean, if I had to eat people, I mean, either that or die. I really don't know, because you never know what you do in a bad situation like that.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
So I can imagine, looking over at that pig and just going,
Yeah, it does really look kind of
I know.
appetizing.
I could never do it. It'd hard to ever do it to one of your pets, but if it meant like your family living or not, maybe you would, So.
No, but I couldn't grow up on a farm. I couldn't live on a farm and kill animals. That would really bother me.
Yeah, that'd be tough. Like they become your pets. You'd probably try to figure out a way not to ever get close to any of them. Looks like Carolina.
Let me tell. I
Stop,
want to tell.
Gray.
Thanks.
Come on, Carolina T. What's going on? She goes, "Stop, Gray. You're so mean." Anyways, wow, you've been on here for a long time.
Yeah, I'm kind of pooping out. I'm kind of like had a hard week, and the gun goes off 8:30 Monday morning, and I look up, it's 11 o'clock Friday night, and I'm going, how did that happen?
Yeah. Let me ask you this. Have you ever seen that movie? Someone just mentioned Soylent Green.
I've heard a lot about it. I'm not sure I saw it, but I know what it's about.
With Charlton Heston. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah. So I hope not. I hope it doesn't. I mean,
we don't want to get to that point.
I hope it remains interesting and hypothetical.
Yeah. Somebody did. Maureen sent in a PayPal over here, and it says, "Lovely show. She was adopted with twin brothers at 3 months old. Know nothing. Let's see. Was adopted with twin brother. Okay, so her and her twin brother were adopted at 3 months old, and they have nothing. Would like to do a DNA test, but don't know where to start." So you know that perfectly.
Ancestry.com. Click into there on the toolbar, DNA. Click, and it will say order a DNA test. And go ahead, whip out your credit card, order a DNA test. They go on sale quite often. They're usually about $100. All you want is the genealogy. They have 20 million people in their database, and take the test. Or have your brother take the test. They only need one of you to take the test and see what kind of matches. DNA cousins. In a very lucky world, you would come up with a first cousin, and you could contact them and say, "Hey, you're my first cousin. I was adopted. Did any of your relatives, your aunts or uncles, have twin babies that you never saw again?"
Yeah, that'd be pretty
Something
quick.
like that.
A pretty quick answer at that moment if you got first cousins. If you got.
No, but it has happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, I told you about the sperm baby, that the girl who contacted me, and she wanted to find out who her father was. So I said, "Did you take the ancestry test?" She said, "Yeah." I said, "Your results come in yet?" She said, "No." I said, "Well, wait till your results come in, call me back, and we'll talk about them." A few days later, my phone was blowing up at 7 o'clock on a Saturday morning, and she got her results back, and the one at the top of the list was her dad, who had taken a DNA test to see how many kids he had.
Oh, yeah.
She had been I think I told you, she was an only child, but now she was one of 5 or 6 half-sibs.
Yeah, and imagine there's probably some dads out there that have like hundreds of kids, if they were like a rocket scientist.
They've been documented.
That's just crazy. You go on to genealogy and you have like 500. Oh, man, that's just, oh my God.
It's happened.
That'd be crazy. But anyways, I think that was it. Does anybody have a last minute question, or did the test?
Anybody out
the
there?
List now of relatives. It's very interesting. Oh, so Mag said she was adopted, did the same thing. Now she has a list. of it'd be fun, Mag, is to try to see if we can figure out who the hell, try to make the tree
Who
ourselves.
the hell you are?
Yeah, make the trees. Yeah, who the hell you are. There
Yeah.
you go. I wasn't going to finish the sentence, but it'd be kind of fun to get on there and you uploaded. Does she even need to do GEDmatch at that point, or you just kind of look at the? Yeah, you don't have.
You can go look at her ancestry results and see who's in there. What's your closest relative, Mag?
Yeah, what centimorgans do you see?
Yeah, what's your closest, your highest match? What is it? She's thinking about it. She's logging in to see.
Yeah, right now it sounds like this.
Yeah.
Clickety, 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 click. Hold on.
She's,
2 seconds. We're
we're all waiting to hear the answer.
How many centimorgans? Oh, her next comment had nothing to do with that. It's a little scary, but
It's a little
fascinating.
scary. Okay, well, thank you. It is. So you don't want to tell us your highest match.
Come on, Mag. You got one more chance here. Third cousin.
Third cousin.
Oh, so
Sorry,
that's
still
100.
buffering. Okay, that's pretty distant, but you still might be able to do it.
That's a really
If you
tough.
go on GEDmatch, see if you get anything better.
Yeah, try that.
Or upload to MyHeritage, you might get something better. Upload to Family Tree DNA. Some of that's free and some of it isn't. So
Do some of them just accept your upload, like MyHeritage? Do they just take your?
I think I saw something MyHeritage said you could upload for free, and just sometimes you upload for free and then you unlock the matches. You have to pay $50 or something, something like that. Or you might even they might let you see something about the top matches. So.
Yeah, we got one of those people that only is interested in one case. They said, "Have you been contacted to look into the Delphi homicides?"
Yes, by Gray.
Yeah, and she reached out, and just.
I have reached out, and I said, "Hey, great to hear from you. I'm going to pass your name on to the lab. They'll call you." They didn't say what year, so.
Oh, there was that one thing. If you have a minute, was we were going to talk about how because you were involved in the Schneeoberholzer.
Yeah, marginally.
Yeah, marginally
I did
over
some
time.
Y-DNA for them.
Yeah.
And I didn't find anything. And, they just solved it recently. So I want to give a big high five to Charlie McCormick. He was really the guy that stuck in there a long time.
Yeah, it wasn't really.
Great success story.
I personally didn't think it was very cool how they kind of rushed him off the. Barely got to say much at all at the.
Okay, there's a question here. I've heard sometimes genealogy has mistakenly resulted in the wrong person being caught for a crime. What's that? Absolutely not, because genealogy, first of all, it's impossible if you do it right to get it wrong, because there's only me and my brothers and sisters have the same genealogy. If you do it right, there's nobody else you're going to find. Now, somebody who gets it wrong hasn't done their homework. You can always do something wrong.
Yeah.
However, even after the genealogy's done, you report that to the agency, and the agency has to have a CODIS match. They have to go collect the DNA from that person. And then if it matches, that will give them probable cause to arrest the guy and take another DNA sample, which is used as the evidentiary sample in court. There are 2 steps. There are 3. First, genealogy can only be used as a lead. And then once you say, we think it's John Smith, the agency has to go look for John Smith and collect his D surreptitiously by asking for a sample. And they got to get his DNA somehow to get probable cause to go and arrest him. And then they take the real sample, they videotape it, they take the real sample. It's all, all documented, and that's the one that's going to be used in court. Yeah. So the genealogists may not do their homework very well, but they're not going to make a mistake and the police are going to go arrest somebody on the basis of the genealogy. That doesn't work that way.
So basically, really shortly, is that they take whatever DNA from the crime scene, they figured out how to upload it to CODIS, and then a genealogist might go out and but they have the DNA profiles.
Well, no. They already think the genealogist says it's John Smith. they go get and they compare the DNA at the crime scene to John Smith's DNA. They don't do the CODIS. It is the CODIS markers, but I don't think they upload. They can do a 1-to-1 comparison right then.
Okay, yeah, I'm sure they do that too, but I think to make it like really official, they put a CODIS profile up there and then match it. Because I heard that earlier today.
No, you put the crime scene DNA in CODIS.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
You don't put the guys.
Right, yeah.
The crime scene DNA is already in CODIS.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So whatever the crime scene, that's how I started it. The crime scene DNA they put on CODIS. Then a genealogist provides a lead. Then they clandestinely find DNA. Then they match that to the CODIS profile, and then boom, now you've got it all technically solved, like a CODIS hit, right?
Like the guy you think it might be doesn't go into CODIS.
Right, yeah, exactly.
You know, that's all later. Okay, you got it.
Yeah, let's see.
So the genealogy, if the genealogist is terrible, doesn't do their homework, whatever they do, it can't lead to an arrest. It's not the genealogy, it's the breakdown of the law enforcement system, but that almost can't happen because if the DNA matches, he's going to be arrested. If it doesn't, he will not be arrested.
I mean, I saw this question earlier. I just didn't ask it. I didn't include it because I thought it also was answered on other shows, because you were saying, you've said other times where it has led to the wrong person, but it was like the chimera situation and those kind of crazy.
Well, it's not the wrong. No, wait. I don't. It hasn't led to the wrong person. It did not get the right person. I'm saying that that was just the only criminal case I know was Andrei Chikatilo, the serial killer in Russia. He eluded the police because he was a chimera, and the DNA at the crime scene was not the DNA that he was giving at the police station because they were both his.
But remember the other ones where you got a bone marrow transplant? There was one like that was really weird.
That's more of a concern now, and we're understanding more about DNA. I don't think anybody has been arrested based on who is a chimera. They just said that was a concern because as that medical procedure is getting more common, it is possible. But if nothing else, the DNA from the person will not match the DNA at the crime scene. It won't match, so they won't arrest him when really they should, because he's a chimera and he is the right guy.
Yeah.
You won't arrest the wrong guy being a chimera. You will not arrest the right guy. Think about that.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. So there hasn't been any. I guess it would just be really poor. Well, the thing is if you're loading it up to CODIS, the crime scene DNA, if you had a really crappy genealogist, you're just not going to get a match. So it's like you can't accidentally. It would be if somebody accidentally put the wrong profile onto CODIS and assigned it, and somehow that could be an error too. But I mean, the odds of that.
They've given us the wrong. An agency or two along the way has just given us the wrong DNA. There's a human error or something, or the label is backwards or something. That's very rare, but it has happened.
Right.
And in one case, they gave us the wrong DNA. We solved it. It was like a case from 1973, and there was a case from 74. The guy with 74 had been caught. All right, he's been in jail. He got out a long time ago. So they gave us the DNA from 73, hoping to solve it. And we came up with the same guy, and they were very happy until they realized they gave us the wrong DNA, and they really gave us 1974. And we just found the same guy that they arrested anyway. The 73 is still out there. They may or may not do that in a different again.
Yeah.
But it was human error, and it wasn't the fault of the genealogist. In fact, we got it right.
Yeah. Well, listen, I know you've been a real trooper hanging in here this whole time, but it's always so great.
Yeah.
Everybody loves having you on here. It's
Well, I guess so. Nowhere else do people just like me to talk for 3 hours. Now, that's a woman's dream. Well, so.
But you're funny too.
I don't mean to be. I
know you're accidentally funny. Yeah, you don't know it. You're like me. You don't really write the jokes; they just come out, right? It's just it's the medication I take. It's you miss a lot of that. Is that what the eye twitches have been? Is that from the eye twitches?
Yeah, and you see my hair and go like this a lot. Yeah.
That's right. But anyways, I'll just. Do you have anything else you want to say tonight, or?
No, I just want to say thanks for having me. I'm going to go like watch Dance Moms, reruns of Dance Moms the rest of the evening and kick back. And I'll talk to everybody and I'll see y'all in a couple of weeks. I'll come back. Don't worry.
Yeah.
You can't chase me off that easy.
Yeah,
But I
cool.
will think about the watch pig not boiling it.
A watch pig never boils, he said.
Yeah. Oh, and somebody,
Dan
yeah,
Carr.
bought my book. Oh, I'm so happy.
Yeah, I bought
Okay,
it too.
thank
I got a copy of it.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I think
Thanks everybody
it's
for
right.
having me, and I'll talk to y'all soon. I'll be back soon. Okay.
I think
And
it's right there.
we'll
look.
work on some. Oh, there it is.
There's one of
We'll
them.
work on some cases. They were talking about the forensic book. The
Oh,
forensic.
yeah.
When I see you in person, Gray, I'll autograph it.
Okay.
So they were talking about the forensic.
Well, what-
Anyway, thanks for buying the book. And I'll talk to y'all. Be good now while I'm gone. Be good for Gray while I'm gone. And we'll work on some cases together. We're getting it going. It's just
yeah.
a little bit slow.
Yeah, we got some
But
cool stuff in the
as I
works.
told Gray, you do it right, you take the time, you cry once. And then if you do it wrong, you're going to cry a lot at the end.
That's right. She did tell me that. And
Yeah.
we're looking at some other interesting stuff too. So, all right, everybody. Well, thank you very much.
Okay.
Again. You have
Yeah,
something?
y'all have a good weekend and we'll talk soon.
You can still watch the chat even after I shut this down. But anyway.
Okay. All right. See
later.
you then.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Bye, Gray.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Bye.
Oh, jeez. Sorry. She was just about to say goodbye, Susanna, right there. Okay. Anyways, that was really fun. Interesting show. Susanna, you get a little crazy there, but all right. How come I don't have is something missing on my screen here? Like the backdrop or what's going on? Oh wait, let me. So I got that, and then it goes over to here, and then something isn't showing. I guess I'll figure that out. Something's not, let's see, no idea. Oh, there's my sign. There it is. No, it's like an image is gone that was out here. I'll figure it out. Hey, Billy Boy Blue, we've talked about that 100 times, all right? Jesus. Anyways, GNH, sorry I didn't ask that question. I saw it, but it sounded like one that she just answered, but I guess it wasn't. That was my bad. Hey, happy birthday to Lee D.
Happy birthday to Lady. Happy birthday to Lady. Happy birthday to Lady. Happy birthday to you.
And many more.
There you go. It should have been more like, happy birthday to
Happy
you.
birthday, Lady. Party face, party face, party face, party face.
Let me see what this is called here. Hold on. So I'm on this one. Is it that? No. Right? Okay, it's called right. So this would be left in here. There it is. Oh, I know what happened. Maybe I moved this to the wrong level? What? Oh, I see. Jeez, that was stupid. Hold on. I moved it way over. Look at this. Watch. Boom. Okay, there we go. Wow. I was wondering what in the hell was going on. It was just so far over there. Jan H isn't going to let me off the hook. Yeah, that was interesting though, didn't you think? Man, I was laughing a lot. It was pretty funny. I wasn't sure what she was laughing at, but I was laughing at what Susanna was saying, but she was reading the comment. Well, she laughed a bunch of times. Yeah, you missed it all. You missed it all. Yes, happy birthday, Lee D. Yeah. Nah, I'm not pulling an all-nighter. Yeah. But man, hey, Susanna, you gotta sort of like try to, condense some of the stories, a little bit. Just a little bit, all right? That's right, that's right. Well, happy birthday to you. Thanks, Lee D. Yeah. So thank you guys for supporting the channel. It all goes at the end of the month, portion of it. You guys know how the channel works. I've said it 1,000 times, even though the trolls out there seem to never actually listen to how the show works.
Thanks.
I
Thumbs
spend
up.
hours and hours and hours and hours and hours each week putting together these shows, whether you like them or not or whatever. If you want to support the channel during the week, that's great. But also a large percentage of that goes to charity at the end of the month, and it's usually around 40 to 50% of every single dollar that is brought in on YouTube after the taxes are taken out. Okay, well, YouTube takes their percentage, but I don't see what it was originally. I just see what is earned, and so that's what goes on here. So hopefully you think that's good. All right. And the thing is, we're raising the money each day, every single day, and that's why we're able to donate that much. The thing, people don't realize that it wouldn't be like that if you just kept having a fundraiser here and there, and you just can't really afford to do a show when it's like that. Like, I couldn't do a 3-hour show and 6 hours of, whatever, how many hours. Sometimes it's the whole day doing research. Some days it's 2 or 3 hours. But then I do a 3-hour show. So it's a minimum of 5 hours every single day. And people that are YouTube creators deserve to make income doing it. And I don't give a shit about the high and mighty idiots out there who say that you shouldn't. Okay? It's total crap when they say that. They never say anything to IDTV. They never say anything to any of the news channels or anything like that. But if you're a YouTuber and doing it, they feel like they can personally attack you if you make an income from it. Okay, the difference, though, between me and some of these other clowns is that I literally donate a huge percentage, and that's why we're able to do what we're doing, building up the DNA fund and donating so much money to charity. All right? So whenever you see those clowns out there say that, just smack them upside the head, all right? And I mean that by typing in, "You're an idiot." Like Harvey Carroll out there. Yeah. He just made a whole video, totally slanderous video that was untrue. He doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. Every single thing he put in the video was false. However, it's okay somehow by YouTube, although it has been reported, and it's one of those ones where the team is actually looking at it right now. So if I was him, I'd get rid of it, because he has my face on the screen and about 4 minutes of just insult over and over and over. Yeah. Yeah, he's done literally nothing for the case for the entire time. Absolute garbage. Matter of fact, let me show you this fantastic. Well, I can't even show it to you because it has his name on it, but it's one of the worst. You took the bridge guy picture and applied one of the dumbest filters you've ever seen. It looks like blobs of crap, and apparently you can now see stuff. Okay, well, that's just not true. Lady's only 22. Wow. Don't worry about it, Jennifer. You'll probably agree with it and like it. Let's see. Yeah, no, he's a total idiot. You know, he's a clown. You know. I don't want anybody going over there to give him views or anything like that. Yeah, he says some really crappy shit. Yeah. No, he works with really crappy images. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I just don't want you to go over there, Jennifer. I don't think you'd agree with it. I just don't want you to go there and watch it. Okay? Because it actually, it's just, you know, it's not cool. See, he put out a video earlier today, and it sort of backhandedly bashed me. So then I said, man, this is just crap. So then he made a whole video about me right after that. And then he made another video, one of the worst videos in the history of mankind, right after that. Right?
Gray, you're so mean.
Yeah, I just don't want anybody going over there, so I don't want you to... I mean, you can go find it if you feel like it. I just, you know... yeah. That's all. I was just goofing around. See, Jennifer always takes everything I say seriously and gets upset, but I was just kidding. I don't really give a shit. You guys, but I just don't want people going over and watching it because it makes me, well, you know, it sort of makes me feel bad that he puts something like that out there, and what I don't like are, it gives a haven for the people who don't like me. They sit there and make all these comments and hit the like button on it. So you got about 100 people going, yeah, wow, yeah, exactly. But they're all the rejects from this channel. You know, the people that were over here and started saying that they saw gas tanks coming out of his back and other stuff like that. No, that wasn't another diss, Jennifer. You're doing your thing again. You know, you're getting upset. It's not a diss. I'm just telling you. I didn't want you to. You get so interested in the name, and then somebody will type it in, and then people will go over there, right? That's what I'm saying. When you do that, it creates issues. When you go, what's the name again? What is it? And then people type it in, and then. Right. Yeah. Anyways, I thought that was a really fun show. It was interesting. She always has so many interesting thoughts about different things. So, let me see if I can find it. Pout. Are you having some getting your drink on there, Billy Boy Blue? Are you getting some drink on? Yeah, that was awesome. I mean, he's actually a terrible YouTuber, makes really terrible videos about the Delphi case. So it's not like I'm keeping you from seeing something interesting. He'll claim that he has put out the greatest information in the history of the world. I'd never say that on mine. All I've ever said on my channel is that I've put out the flow of the crime, and that is what everybody accepts now. And the thing is that's all I've ever said. Okay? And now he says, well, it's really obvious. Nobody... Hey, listen, if any of you were around for the first 6 months of that case, it was never obvious to almost everybody. And as we can see, the one YouTuber with the...
Keep on keeping on being you. How can anyone not
profiling
like Ray?
in
He's
his
the
name,
best.
he didn't have a clue when he looked at it. So he was totally confused. Okay, so the thing is it wasn't really obvious to everybody. It is now because you look at it and you go, oh yeah, down the hill, through that, across the creek, and then over there. Yep, makes sense. But at the time, nobody had a clue. Okay? And so that's the only thing I can say is they all say it now, but at the time, they wouldn't be able to do it. I guarantee it. Hey, thanks, Gen H. And Scott Holland. Yeah, I've never claimed that I'm going to solve the case or anything. I'm just putting it together so people can see the, sort of the flow of the crime is what I called it. That's my term. That didn't exist before. Nobody called it that. It's just the flow of the crime. And that's it, And just put stuff together and the timeline. Now, other than that, I don't know. Law enforcement is much more equipped at figuring out who the killer is, right? Than people on YouTube saying, or Facebook going, oh, look at that. Look at that guy's face. It looks just like it. Yeah, but it's a sketch, right? You know that, right? Yeah, the stuff on Reddit's absolutely crazy. There goes Billy Boy Blue. He's going nuts again. How come Billy Boy Blue's never tried to do the whole thing with Jennifer? She's a freaking cheerleader. I mean, my God, you should have.
Hey Cheedy Lean. I think you're totally cute.
Well, what he does, he goes out and he comes back in after heading out a little bit. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. Never mind. She was never a cheerleader. Oh man, that's hilarious. Well, that's good, Cindy Lean. Haven't I seen you on, are we friends on Facebook? I don't know if we are or not. He needed the money. Ooh! Alright, everybody, that's going to be it tonight. I'm going to get out of here. Hold on a second.
Thank you to Michelle Niklaus, Cairo, Ali Cake, Claudia Neubauer, Mag, Layla My Layla, and Cairo before was LM, Claudia Neubauer, Lisa Wilkerson, Wally Gator, Cairo, VP, Cairo, Linda Howell, Trisha Rasmussen, Kevin Brown, Michelle Nicholas, Swerves, Sarah M, Cairo, Wally Gator, Jessica Schubach, Carolina T, Rita Schaefer, Jim Chaplin, Sarita, Lee D, and Jim Chaplin was Stephen N, Billy Boy Blue, he needed the money, Holly,
Yeah, Billy Boy Blue. How would you not know who Jennifer is, for God's sake? She's been in here the whole time with the cheerleading outfit. She's a moderator. How do you not know? My God. Hey, thanks, David Arnold. Appreciate it. Yeah, come on, Billy Boy Blue.
Chewbacca?
Oh, I'll be Chewbacca if you want me to. Hey, look at that! Hey, look at that! It's Gwendolyn's birthday too! Happy birthday, dear Gwendolyn! Happy birthday, dear Gwendolyn! Happy birthday, dear
It's my birthday.
Gwendolyn! Happy birthday to you!
and many more.
Hey, it was Lee D's birthday too, right?
Yeah, obviously, you sang it earlier.
Oh, that's right.
Man, really quick-witted Mary Lou there. Wow. Yeah. And many more. Yeah, I think it was the Rams, wasn't it? Was it in St. Louis at the time, Jennifer? Or? I don't even know when they switched. When did they go from Los Angeles over there? I have no idea. Well, they were in Los Angeles and then they went to St. Louis. How long had they been in St. Louis at the time? Yep, I'll sing it. Well, it's going to be, I'm not singing it, it's Mary Lou, right? Okay. And when were you a cheerleader? What year were you a cheerleader? Oh, 20. Years. So, okay, so you were there in 2000, about? I don't know what that means.
Chewbacca?
Hey, thanks, Gwendolyn
I'll
B.
be Chewbacca if you want me to.
Gray needed the money, thanks.
I didn't need it, but like, I mean, I don't know about you, but it, you know, it just feels good on this channel. You know, I make income on here, but it feels great to donate as much as we have been. I just happen to have another job, so I don't need to, you know, I can donate a huge percentage of it, right? But I have to justify doing it, spending that many hours as well, right? Sucks to have to explain that over and over and over to. Oh, it's amazing. I mean, last year was insane, right? $22,000. That's insane. And right this year, what are we at now? We are at 8,000 right now. 500 at and 1,500 of that was the matching by Jeff. So we've got Nick Mac 1,100. DNA Fund 6,000. Texas Equisearch 400. And Rain had 500. Yeah, there it is. Rain's coming up there, 500.
Jack and
Okay.
Jill went up the hill both with $1.25, leaving them down at 250.
Ooh, happy birthday to Dan Carr yesterday. Happy birthday to Dan Carr yesterday. Happy birthday to Dan Carr yesterday. Happy birthday to you.
And many more.
Man, you have that funny line too, right? A watch pig doesn't boil, right? Something like that. No, watch pig never boils.
Yeah. That's right. There you go. There you go, Dan Carr. There you go. So, anyways, thank you guys very, very much. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And we'll be back on tomorrow. Oh, yeah. Tomorrow, though, I'm going to do a show. I don't know. It'll be just for members only. And we're going to go over the final, do the finals for the poem contest, right? The Rockabye Baby contest. Okay, so we're going to be doing that one tomorrow. Thanks, Rita. All right, and the winner gets a hoodie, and the other people, the runner-ups, get mugs. We'll have like 2 or 3 runner-ups, maybe. Okay? So there you go. You guys are crazy. That's all there is to it. Yeah, I feel so lucky, you know. I have like really smart people and very generous people that are in my channel. They're, you know, like, I don't know, it's crazy. The freak family, right? I mean, how lucky is that? Yeah, Billy Boy Blue. Was that a euphemism? Oh man, I know. I'm really lucky, and it's always good to have you call in, Susanna. But sometimes, man, Jesus, yeah, it goes all over the place. But I guess that's part of the funny. That's what's funny. I guess I do that too, but so yes, we will see you guys tomorrow, and I hope you guys enjoyed the show. We will see you then. Yeah, make sure you wash your hands, maintain your social distancing, and wear a mask. All right, and get the vaccine when it comes out. All right, everybody. So thank you very much, and until next time. Be safe out there. Thank you very much, Colleen, again, for coming on. It's always great. Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now. And during this whole time, I have not seen one person that is a
Crime dissector, flag rejector,
I'm a certified human lie detector. Gonna get ya on a stretcher if you try and play me like an old projector.
Crime sector is my nectar.
Professor Green is gonna give another lecture.
crime collector, free connector, and I'm always gonna be
a protector, fool deflector, interceptor.
and I'm meaner than a spectre with a vector.
have a temper fucking check.
I have no agenda. I'm no pretender.
And I give it to you straight right out the blender.
And in the end,
I'm gonna send ya.
on a mission to reveal the true offender.
Alright, man.
Yeah, so I'll just get right back to work. Alright, everybody? Talk to you.
Man, what a cool show, man. Colleen is the greatest, best show in the history of mankind. Yay!
Wow. Did you have enough coffee today, Mary Lou?
Why, I can't sound excited without you thinking I drank coffee?
Well, no, it was just the enthusiasm, let's say, that you displayed there.
Well, I thought it was a really cool show. Gosh, John boy, you're so mean.
Gosh, that was pretty good, Mary Lou.
Oh, you think so? Cool. I've been working on it in the room, and
Oh, see, you just admitted that you do that on purpose. It wasn't a real cry.
no, I was really crying. Well, you got me. Forget it.
Wow. Those two, they're almost like they're on drugs. You ever thought of that? Almost every single day, it's always something. You know, I'm not sure. Sometimes I really think that Mary Lou's upset, but then just a moment later, she'll come back with some crap how it was just all an act. So I don't know if that's the trolling part or... Hey, look at that! Man, that's Lanky Tor! Wow! You're so great!
Hey, were you trying to imitate me?
Well, I tried to, but it just didn't... I can't do it. It doesn't sound like you.
Well, don't imitate me. I'm one of a kind. Because I'm a crime director, freaking actor. I'm a certified human lie detector. Gotta get ya, wanna split ya. If you try to blame me like an old projector, crime connector, freak connector, and I'm always gonna be a protector. Fool deflector, interceptor. You know me, I'm a specter with a vector on his vector with a vector. Just remember, vector. I have no agenda, I'm no pretender. And if you're dreaming, you'll think about the wonder. And in the end, I'm gonna send you on a mission to the real November.
Wow, not bad, not bad.
Hippity hop. Hippity hop, 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 hop. Gonna stop, hop. What happened, Sarita? What happened? Why are you looking up in the air like that? That's weird. That's weird. Hello? Anybody there? Oh, there we go. listen. I sit back with his brand new invention, something. Got the holding me tightly, flows like a harpoon daily and nightly. Will it ever stop, yo? I don't know. Turn off the lights, and I'll glow. To the extreme, I make the mic like a vandal. Light up the stage and make a chunk like a candle. Damn, but the speakers that boom, killing your brain like a poisonous mushroom, deadly. When I play a dope melody, anything less than the best of the felony, loving a leader, you better game play. Better hit bulls that a kid don't play. Is it the word of problem? Yo, I'll solve it. Check out the hook when my DJ performs it. Jumping, with the bass kicked in and the Vegas all pumping. Quick to the point, cause the point no faking. Whipping them seas like a pound of bacon. Burning them, ain't quick and nimble. I go crazy when I hear the cymbal with a high hand. With a souped up tempo, I'm on a roll. Time to go solo, rolling. In my 5.0 with my right top down so my hair can blow. The girl is on standby, waiting till they say hi. Fishes stop, no, just go by, cut off. Go soon to the next stop. I pass a left, I'm headed to the next block. Till I was dead, y'all, so I continue to A1A. Detroit Avenue, girls were hot, wearing less of bikinis. Rock man lovers, driving Lamborghinis. Jealous? What? What are people arguing? What happened, Bush and Beach lifestyle? What happened? So mean! Everybody, see you later.
And be safe out there. Oh, and thanks, Lanky Tor. Right before the end there. I'm so mean. Gray, you're so mean. Oh.